ontogeny.
Okay. Can you see or hear me right now, chat? Let me know. Audio and video? Excellent. How's the volume? Thank you, Lenina. Is the volume okay? The volume is good. Excellent. Welcome, everybody, to Paleontologizing. Welcome back to St. George, Utah, to the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site emergency fossil excavation that we're carrying out right now. We're going to have some new faces today. We're going to have some faces that you'll recognize. I think Papa Jim might even be joining us later. I hear he's on the road right now. So Utah State paleontologist Jim Kirkland will be here today and tomorrow. I'm going to be here, I guess, for one more day. I'm probably going to be leaving around midday tomorrow. We might do an early stream then. But anyway, we're here now, and I'm glad you're here. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I do a lot of streams from the field, digging up dinosaurs in places like Wyoming and eastern Utah. It's my very first time in southern Utah, and the whole point here is to be able to get the word out about what's going on here so that we can get more volunteers, we can get donations, we can get the help that we need to help save these fossils, because this site is slated to be bulldozed. It's going to turn into a construction in May, we are told. So, yeah, doing the very to help out by assisting with the excavation, but by trying to get more attention for this, trying to get people excited about it, trying to show people why this is so important, why they should care about it, and hopefully enlist their help. So, welcome. Let's go ahead and have a look around. There's the museum curator over there, Andrew Milner. He's on the phone currently. Yeah, let me give you a quick overview of the site. We'll talk to some folks and probably do some digging too. We've got a slightly smaller crew than we had yesterday because most of the Texas folks have started their journey back to Austin. But yeah, we've got some new people coming in, and looks like we might have some media folks showing up too, which is really cool. Yeah, anywho, just to give you your bearings here, if you are new, this is the excavation site right here. So this is the area that is slated to be bulldozed sometime in May. Right across the street is the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site Museum. So we did a tour there on stream a couple days ago. That was incredible. Got a VIP tour from curator Andrew Milner. And again, if you haven't seen that, bookmark it. You want to watch that VOD. It's pretty darn cool. Yeah, and it helps illustrate why the site is important, because this layer is continuous. So the fossil beds that we're digging in right here also extend across the street, and that museum is built on top of the site. So many of the tracks in there are in situ. They are where they have been for the past 200 million years. It's a really special place, and that's why we're doing everything that we can to salvage all of this before it gets destroyed. We've got fossil fishes in here in the lower layer. We'll go take a look at some of those in a minute. And then this upper layer up here, we've got bones, we've got fish scales, we've got dinosaur teeth. Stuff. I've said this many times over the past few days, but one of the reasons why this site is so important is because it chronicles a kind of a transitional time in Earth history. So this is when dinosaurs are first starting to really take over the Earth. So this is just after the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, where it's like maybe 3/4 of species on Earth died out. That kind of paved the way for dinosaurs to really take over and become dominant for the next 100+ million years. So in some ways, this is kind of the beginning of the age of the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were around before, during the Triassic, but they were more bit players in their environment. This is when they really become the dominant critters on our planet. Oh yeah, and we were in the news too, the Raven. There was a Salt Lake Tribune article that just came out this morning. I posted that to Blue Sky earlier if you want to check it out. Jim Kirkland is quoted in that, and so is Andrew here. So yeah, check that out. There will be other news, probably TV spots and stuff coming out soon too. So I'm going to try and keep track of all those, and even when I go home, we'll still be keeping track of everything going on here, and I might be coming back out in a few weeks too. We'll see. No promises. Things are kind of in flux right now, but yeah. Anyway, I'm glad everybody's here. We've already got 164 people watching, which is awesome. Everything that we can do to help get the word out about this. I'm gonna try and do it, you know? Yeah. Thank you, Charlie's Dragon, for posting the link. Excellent. Yeah. All right. So, got that smaller tractor over there, being operated by Amma, and it was really cool watching him work with that this morning, clearing a bunch of this stuff around, clearing a bunch of this stuff away. So, all of this is newly exposed here. So, we've got crew members picking these up and then using rock hammers to split them apart, look for any teeth, fish scales, bones, whatever. So this is the upper layer, where we've got fish bones, fish scales, dinosaur teeth, some tetrapod bones, maybe some remains of ancient crocodile relatives. Down here, like we looked at yesterday. Anything exciting over here, Hannah?
Yeah, actually, I kind of try to brush it off for you a little bit here. So we found this little guy, and it was just this that we found at first. So we were going to start trenching around it, so, you know, sort of digging out the area so we could cast it. We find a little bit more. So I said, okay, I'm going to start going this way. A giant concretion that's just full of fish material right here.
Nice, okay.
And we're finding even more concretions just all around over here.
Rich area. This is
extremely.
Awesome. Yeah.
So now just trying to figure out what to pop out of the ground and what to work around.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah. Well, good luck. Awesome. Again, a lot of this stuff was not exposed until this morning. Like, was this actually underneath all of that rubble earlier today?
Yeah, so we just had our construction crews, AB Excavation.
Yeah, shout out to AB Excavation.
Yeah, Ammon Bateman, and he just pulled up all of this rock for us, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, that's a huge help, because going through this stuff by hand is really time consuming. There's Ammon over there, AB Excavation, with his rig. And very skilled. We're very, very lucky to have him. He's donating his time for us. So we are deeply, deeply grateful. So big shout out to AB Excavation there. If we can get a link in the chat, that would be awesome. We've got our resident photographer over here. Is it okay if I get you on camera, Cowboy?
Yeah, man, go for it. You're good.
This Cowboy here. Do you have something we can promote, like Instagram or? Yeah.
I'm just new to the whole thing, but I do believe my Instagram is fine art photographer.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah.
He's been shooting some beautiful everybody when I get home.
Yeah, I got some good one of him.
Yeah, I never get photos of me when I'm streaming or digging, frankly, and so these are
some good ones.
They're gold. Wait till you see them. Yeah, this man's got a lot of talent.
Thank you.
What's that on the the viewfinder thing you've got on the back?
Viewfinder, yeah. It's like not a lot of photographers use them. I love them because if your camera is just a SLR and not a mirrorless, you're going to get a little bit finer focus going through the actual screen.
Gotcha.
Than the viewfinder, and this magnifies the screen so you can, more easily get that fine focus as you saw yesterday by how detailed my photos are.
The level of detail was really something. Yeah. Again, wait till you see it.
Poster size is too small almost for those photos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Tyler wailing on the rock right there, digging a trench.
Yup, getting this one ready to mushroom for plastering later to get this one flipped out of here.
Nice, yeah. So again, this is one of our probably semi-anoded fishes. It's underneath that plaster cap right there. So yeah, you'll see a bunch of pits like this right here. Each one of these held a fish that we've jacketed and extracted so far. And then here's one that's been flipped. So we'll be jacketing this one later, presumably. This is the same one from yesterday, the big one that Josh and them were, Josh and Tyler, Whitney were working on. So here it is. I'll jacketing process later. But yeah, let's see here. And Santa Claus ho 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 says, is every fossil worth saving? No, a lot of them aren't, and we're trying to work as quickly as we can here too, because we do not have a lot of time. We got a few weeks to try and get everything that we can out of here. So we can't work quite as slowly and carefully as we would like to, and we can't collect everything. There are some things that would just be too time consuming. Just the time reward ratio just doesn't work out for them. So a lot of the smaller stuff that's, if we had more time, we could take more time to very carefully collect it for a lot of these. But the fishes like these are going to be really important, and some today are going to be new to science. So we've almost certainly got new species of semi-anodid fish in here, and those are definitely worth collecting. The thing about them is that you often don't know what you've got until you bring it back to the lab and really clean it up. So yeah, but those fishes are definitely a priority. Lay them in there. Some rocks. Nice. Again, huge help. He's just a member of the local community who's pitched in to help us out, and so much of this would not be possible were it not for folks like Ammon, so we're really grateful. And many of the people that you see here are visiting from not just other parts of Utah, but other states across the U.S. I hear we've actually got people coming in from overseas as well to help volunteer, help with the excavation, so yeah. And you at home can also help. You could come here in person to volunteer, even if you've never done an excavation before. We can teach you how to do it. Or if you can't make it out here, there's ways that you can contribute materially through a donation link, which we've got in the chat. There we go. Yeah, there's a crowdfunding site, there's a Venmo, and there's an Amazon wish list. So stuff from any of those help. So again, it's part of the reason why I'm here. We're just trying to spread the word about this, Let me see if we've got any more questions. Oh, and what was Cowboy's Instagram? The audio dropped right as he said it. I think it was Cowboy Fine Art Photography. Yeah, let me ask him again.
So on a couple of them, I got the museum and the dig site for the museum, which, I mean, come on, how often do you ever see that?
That's really cool.
Cut out just as you were saying it.
It's like, I think it's Cowboy Fine Art and Modeling Photographer.
Okay. Cowboy Fine Art Modeling Photographer?
Might be.
You wait for Andrew?
Cowboy Fine Art Photographer. You can't see it because it's so detailed, but yeah, that's it.
Cowboy_fine_art_photographer. Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll get you some follows for sure. Thank you again for all of your help. We really appreciate it.
It's like it's for a good cause.
Yeah. He was talking about how he came down from Ogden, Utah, and he collects fossils in his free time. And he said he heard about this, and he's like, well, if I can do this for a museum, that sounds awesome. So here he is. So we've got a lot of people here. Yeah. Everyone helping out how they can. Exactly. Community time. Exactly. Yeah. And DM Wing says, wish I could support. I mean, just by being here and helping get the viewership up, you're helping in some small way. But yeah, if you want to share some of the donation links and stuff like that on social media, if you've got it, that would also help. Yeah, It's a wonderful thing when people contribute what they can, whether it's volunteering or a material donation, or whether it's just helping get the word out, you know? Yeah. It's kind of a motto of mine, like, you know, you take what you need, you give what you can. That's what we're trying to do here, you know? Yeah. So normally we'd be over there talking to Andrew, but he's on camera right now. This is great. Very cool. So hopefully that'll be a TV spot, and that'll help get the word out about this as well. Ugh. I want to check on my equipment real quick, make sure that the solar panel's actually working, so we don't end up losing connectivity. So let's go do that. Oh, by the way, this is our fish spot, or excuse me, plant spot. I showed you this yesterday. We'll see if maybe at some point we can get Hannah to come up here and kind of show us around a little bit too, because I think that would be cool. We didn't get to focus enough on the plants yesterday. I think that would be neat. So we'll do that. I'm going to go check my equipment, also get some water. That is important. Hydrate indeed. Let's get that done. Be careful not to walk in front of the satellite dish. There we go. What's our battery level at? 77, good, okay. Looks like it's going, which is a good thing. This little solar panel here, as long as it's sunny enough, can produce just about as much power as that takes, so we can stay about in equilibrium, if we're lucky. But with the clouds like we're getting here, it's gonna cut down on that a bit. So yeah, I think we'll be good for the rest of the broadcast though. Cross your fingers. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. Let's get some water. So we've got two different interviews going on right now. There's Jaleesa right there. She's the one to email about volunteering. Looks like that's going to be maybe like a radio spot. And then there's Andrew on camera right there, probably for local news, I'm guessing. Yeah. Good stuff. So later on, when those are online, we can say we were here. All right. Okay. Do you get a decent radius with that kind of setup? It's okay, Crimson Carnotaurus, yeah. It's not as good as the older dish that I have with the separate router. This is all contained in one unit right there, so you just plug it in and adjust it by hand to put it in the right direction. But I love how portable it is. This is the same one that I brought to North Dakota. I could take that on the plane in my carry-on. Yeah. The range isn't great on the Wi-Fi, but it's good enough, you know? Especially when you put it up high in an area like this. So, yeah. Good to see some media attention, maybe raise awareness. Exactly, Golganak, yeah. And most of the volunteers here found out about this through local news. I don't know about most, but many of our volunteers and people helping out found out about that through local news. So it's a good thing. Yeah. Let's see if we can take a look at some other stuff that people have been finding too. Let's see. Got anything yet, Kiri?
On a scale a little bit ago. It's pretty nice. It's over there.
Oh, okay.
I wanna go find my Gatorade.
Gotcha. Okay.
I got a fish line.
Oh, you do? Nice. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Excellent. Right here. I wonder what that's from. Like,
No idea, but I'm
shark
praying a
or-
coelacanth. So.
Yeah, that would be really cool if it were a coelacanth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you were in our chat yesterday, right? Saying
Yeah.
hi to everybody.
If Claire's there. Hi, Claire.
Nice. All right. We said by the Gatorade bottle. Where was that? That's okay. We'll find plenty of other scales. It's not going to be a huge deal. But yeah. I'm trying to keep my my voice down just a little bit because they're doing some recording over there. Audio and video recording. Presumably for the radio and for TV, so try not to be super obnoxious. What's that?
Is she looking for scales?
Yeah, have you got something to show?
Yeah, there's another.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. Lovely.
I did not find these.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So again, these are these armor scales of these semi-anodid fishes. So each one of these fishes might have hundreds of scales. And yeah, when they die, they just kind of go all over the place.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Thank you. Here, I'll give that back to you. Take a look at this one. Yeah, these ones aren't quite as pretty, but there they are. You look at them under a hand lens, and you could see the cool kind of texture on them. Thank you. Awesome.
Again,
What was your name again?
I'm James.
James, Danny. Yeah, good to meet you too. Thanks for helping us out. We really appreciate it, yeah. Are you local around here?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice.
I intern at the museum.
Oh, very cool. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, so you know a lot more about this than I do.
That's what everyone keeps saying, but
Yeah.
probably not.
Cool. Let's see. Scoot down here. So let's see if we've got any other questions in the chat. Yeah. I noticed the news folks waited till Josh went home. Don't let him hear you say that. Anywho. Again, that's why I'm being a little bit more reserved right now and quiet. I don't want to be in the background of all of those recordings being obnoxious. So I'll wait till they're done and then I can, I could up my volume a little bit. What I should do actually is, let's adjust our volume, turn it up just a bit. That might help. And Murph says, any sign of cynodont bones or tracks pop up? Not yet, I don't think. We do have mystery section of a limb bone, but it's probably from an arca and not a cynodont. For anyone wondering what a cynodont is, they're these kind of like early mammal relatives. So they're kind of a side branch. You might call them stem mammals. So they're not part of like the actual mammal branch on the tree of life, but they are kind of part of that. They're from the base, They are early basal critters, kind of an ancestral mammal-y type thing. A way to describe a cynodont might be, I don't know, kind of like short-snouted, weaselly sorts of guys. If you're to like cross a weasel with a pig, maybe that would be a decent approximation of what a cynodont might look like. I don't think we have a good sense for how hairy they were, but, like a little weasel pig. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got something?
Yeah, sorry.
It's Tiffany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Tiffany.
These two different scoots today. This one is whole with serrations, and then this one's a partial, and then
Gorgeous.
this they think is a part of a coprolite.
Very, very cool. Wow. Yeah, look at the sheen on the
And it has
scales there.
serrations.
Serrations on it. Super, super neat. And
Coprolite.
yeah, very cool. Yeah, who in the chat can tell me what a coprolite is, or coprolite? Potato, tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But they're both really pretty. A blue and a white.
Yeah, very, very nice.
So that one is in matrix, and this one is just found by itself.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Tiffany. These are beautiful. These are the prettiest thing I've seen all day. So, yeah, this is
Very
great.
pretty. They have a lot of high sheen.
Gorgeous stuff. Yeah. And yes, indeed, chat. It literally means poop stone. Yeah. It's fossil dung. Yeah. So yeah, and that sort of thing can be really important because through careful study we can actually figure out what some of these animals were eating. We don't have to try and draw inferences from their teeth morphology. Thing like that, their body plan, we could just, rather than trying to sort of guesstimate what, so coprolites can be really, really informative. There you go, Racodactylus, yes. Good to see you, Reiko. I hope you're having a good day.
Yeah.
Just sit on a hard rock.
Ooh, we got that glued now?
Yeah, so it's that big concretion I've been trying to pull out, and it's thankfully on that really hard layer of rock that we've been dealing with.
Okay.
So,
Hopefully, thankfully it's on the surface.
yeah,
rather than
so
underneath.
you can
Yeah.
kind of see it's like I can pop it off, but we've just sealed it with some glue here so that way
Nice. Help
it's
consolidate
nice in
it.
one piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Come back to it probably half an hour.
Okay.
Like pull out my plants or something, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
find something.
Yeah, can I keep you for a little while, maybe?
Absolutely. Let me go pop these over
Yeah, yeah.
here.
I'll probably join you in a few minutes. Yeah. A little plastic cap from something. That's yours? All right, cool. Yeah. Okay. Looks like they are still doing those interviews over there. That's, I take that as a good sign. What's that?
Are they with like the news?
I think so, yeah. I think we've probably got local TV and maybe local radio. That's my guess. 'Cause that guy doesn't have a camera. Just a big fuzzy microphone.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like, the more people find out about this, the better. It means we can get more help. How did you find out about this?
He read an article about it.
Yeah, okay.
I was running on the treadmill,
Yeah?
and KSL flashed up and said volunteers needed.
Yeah.
We've always wanted to do a dinosaur dig, so
Very cool. Well, welcome.
We're here.
It's great to
Yeah,
have you
this
here.
is very much my kind of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. You into fossils?
Oh yes.
Yeah? Very nice.
I'm actually planning on going to school for stuff like this.
Awesome. Well, this is a great way to make connections and start to learn. And
Yeah.
yeah, welcome. It's good to have you here. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how like this all works.
Yeah. We usually try and work a little bit more slowly than this.
yeah, this
Some
feels
of the
like
stuff. It's rushed. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of time. But yeah, no, but you guys are helping a lot. We really appreciate it.
I'm glad we could help.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been in the museum yet?
No, I haven't.
he
Well,
did when he was really young.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely worth another trip if you get the chance.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure if you're volunteering here, they'll let you in for free also. But
And this epic guy wearing the sweet hat that told us we could get in for free.
On Andrew.
Andrew over there, yeah. Yeah.
You said I could.
Miscellaneous bits.
Hey, James. I think I cleared a good spot for you.
Anyway, I was just giving you a shout out earlier, Eamon. Thank you so much. AB Excavation. Let's get the link in the chat again. But thank you so much for. Yeah. Is this your business? AB is.
Yeah, that's so Ammon Bateman.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the
All right.
first.
Here's the man
First
himself.
and last, so
Yeah, very cool. Yeah,
it's just been, that's my machine.
yeah.
Happy to be here.
It's a pretty sweet rig too. Like you've got a sound system inside and everything. Do I hear?
Yeah, it's radio, it's angle blade, stuff like that. Just
Nice. Yeah, and
comes
he's
in handy.
very skilled with it too. I was asking like, how long have you been doing this? And he's like, well, Well, I think you said 3 years you've been operating this?
3 years I've been
I said
operating equipment. So.
it could have been. You could have said 10. I would have believed him. You know.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But yeah. Again, we really appreciate your help. It's.
I'm happy to be here. It's pretty fun just to.
Awesome. Yeah.
Have a little different pace.
Yeah.
Pace of.
Yeah.
Life right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it.
Awesome. So again, AB Excavation. If you need any excavating done in St. George, Utah, or how far out do you go?
St. George, Cedar.
Yeah. Nice.
Harmony.
Give this guy a call. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Dude.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right. Let's go check in over here. Oh, it's David again. Everybody was complimenting the feather in your hat the other day.
Oh, it's some kind of.
Is it a turkey feather?
Probably that would.
Yeah.
That would be fitting.
Yeah.
It's a dinosaur though, right?
There you go. Yeah. Genuine theropod feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much all are. So anyway, yeah, I don't know which one it is.
That's a good looking trench. Wow.
I know.
Action cam, and then I designed and 3D printed a little case for it because they don't make one like that. All right, are we up again? Let's see.
Can you post them on YouTube afterwards?
No, this is live right now.
Oh yeah.
On Twitch, yeah. Oh yeah, afterward, yeah. All the VODs go up on YouTube, yeah. And we are back. Excellent, yeah. Well, sorry about that. I'm not sure how much you missed, everybody, but we were admiring the quality of this trench right here that Tyler's been working on. We were talking with David. And then looking at what Kiri's got going on over there too. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure why the camera powered off. That's just kind of did that spontaneously. But yeah, it's a good thing we're back now. And they're still doing these interviews. This is awesome. Here. Let's take a look at some of those tracks over here that we've got stacked up like we did earlier. If we get a big raid, we'll probably do that again. Show people really cool charismatic stuff, the dinosaur footprints. The lighting is not going to be the best for that right now because the angle on the sun's pretty high. It's also kind of diffuse, so we're not going to get real strong shadows, but that's okay. And where was our really pretty one? That one's not too shabby right there. Also kind of eroded, but 1 toe, 2 toes, 3 toes, and there's the heel right here. So this would be left foot, I would guess, given how the toes are curving. So they kind of curve out to the sides a little bit. You see the same thing in like emus today. They've got a really similar kind of similar shaped foot. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. Anywho. Mind saying the name of the TV station again? The one from the other day, where Alicia, that was St. George News, which is a newspaper. I think KSL was the name of the TV station that gentleman was talking about earlier. How he found out about this. I'm not sure what KSL stands for, but well, I guess that would just be like the broadcast call sign, huh? Yeah. And hey, Petrodactyls, yes indeed, a Friday stream. You know, when I'm out in the field, all bets are off in terms of which days I stream. I try and stream as often as I can, including weekends. So I'm probably going to be doing an early stream tomorrow, Saturday. Hit the road and head on back to California. So, yeah, if any of you are desirous of an earlier paleontologizing stream, earlier in the day, tomorrow might be your lucky day. Yeah. And Ace SP has got any tips for finding local digs? Finding or funding? I'm trying to help with the funding. Oh, we got a lizard. Hey, lizard friend. Looks like a side blotch lizard, like we were talking about yesterday. Look at you. It's right there. And then the fold. Yeah. By the time I'm on the road, it would be about an hour before I normally start streaming. So yeah, stream would probably be about 3 or 4 hours early tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. I can't guarantee I'll stream tomorrow because I've got to go back into camp, got to, take down my tent, get everything all packed up, get it all into the vehicle, and then come out here and do a stream and then get back out on the road. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day, but I'm going to try and sneak in a stream a little bit earlier. Not a little bit earlier, several hours earlier. Anywho. Tips for finding local digs before I got distracted by the lizard. If there's a museum nearby, you can see if you can get on their email list. Talk to paleontologists, I'd say your best bet for finding local paleontological digs to get involved with is, talk to the folks at your local museum, if you've got one. And if not, just do a Google search. Paleontological digs, my state, my city, my region, my prefecture, wherever you live. Good tips, thanks. You bet, Ace SP. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's nice seeing you in chat. Fun things about doing fieldwork streams and the IRL categories is, it tends to bring in new people to the audience, and the whole point, the whole reason I stream is to do science outreach. To be able to talk to folks about fossil science. Reach new people. And this is a good way of doing that. To reach out. Exactly, Claire Burr. Exactly. Jody Fish says, I was hoping you were intending to stay out here the entire remaining time. I can't do that for a number of different reasons. I've got some appointments and stuff like that back in the Bay Area where I live. But there's a chance, no guarantees, but there's a chance I might be coming back out for another week or so. In a little bit. We'll see. It depends on how some other things go. Yeah. Let me get some more water. Yeah. And possible croc materials in this zone? That's true. We do have some potential croc stuff. There's a tooth that might be from a crocodiliform. Or crocodilomorph? Which is the more inclusive clade? Crocodiliform or crocodilomorph? Let me know if you know. Alright, get some more water. Did not drink enough water on yesterday's stream, so I'm trying to correct for that today. I'm trying to be quiet because there's a radio interview going on right now. Yeah. Nice. All right. Crocodilomorpha is the more broad grouping. Thank you, Alexander Morrison. Good to know. Yeah. Alright, oh, and there's... We'll go check in with him. Go up this way. I think it could be that one of the power cords is getting a little bit loose. So I'll see what we can do about that. I might end up using some mechanics wire tonight to wrap that and make sure it doesn't get jostled or anything. But my apologies there. We are back. Okay, good. Yeah, those dang cables. I know, right, Claire? I've got 16 different cables, it feels like, on this thing, and can halt the stream. Rev says, I notice it struggles when you move the camera around. Yeah, I might have to redesign make a new camera case that actually holds the cables in place so that we can't get that kind of jostling. So, yeah, when you twist, says Claire, that's probably it. It's probably the power cable coming loose. Anywho, I'll make sure that I monitor chat a little bit more carefully too, so that I'll notice when you guys say that the screen has gone black or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, we've got 281 people watching right now. Let me do a quick little station break. And, yeah, talk about what's going on here. If it's your first time here, welcome to Paleontologizing. And welcome to St. George, Utah. This is the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site. There's a really, really important assemblage of fossils here. There is the museum across the street. We did a stream from there a couple days ago. Got a VIP tour, not just of the displays, but we also got to go walk on the track site. That building was built on top of this dinosaur fossil footprint site. We didn't just get to do that, we got to go back into the lab and into the collections. Again, a real VIP tour from the curator himself, Andrew Milner. He's right over there. We'll be talking with Andrew a bit more later. But yeah, early Jurassic period. This is right when dinosaurs are starting to really take over the Earth. So really important time in Earth history. And there's not a lot of sites around the US where rocks of this age and this type are exposed. So makes this pretty special. This site right here, we're working right now, it's all hands on deck, emergency excavation, because this is slated to be bulldozed and destroyed. They're going to build an electrical substation on the site. The city is, given that it's city-owned land. But this is a continuation of those same rocks over there at the museum. So here we've got dinosaur footprints. We've got, you know, occasional dinosaur bones and teeth in there too. And we've got lots and lots of fossil fishes, because this was an ancient lake. What today we call Lake Whitmore. This would have been a giant lake, like maybe the size of Lake Erie or something like that. Just enormous. And you had all kinds of fishes in the lake, semi-anodid fishes, picture like with, you know, bony, scaly armor. And then there were dinosaurs that fed on those fishes. Theropod dinosaurs, kind of similar to like Coelophysis or Dilophosaurus. And we've got their bones here, and we've got footprints. I'll show you some of those later. But some of the most important things are the fishes, given that some of these are going to be new to science. So, yeah, it's cool stuff. Anyhow, yeah. Anyway.
So, let me move this real quick.
Oh, okay. Looks like Kiri and Tyler are taking off. It's really cool hanging out with them. Glad I got to meet them. They'll be out here in a couple weeks, I heard. So I might be coming out around the same time if things go well. We'll see. But, yeah. And Sacrificial Goat says, fascinating. Thank you for streaming from the field. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. Normally, when I'm streaming from the field, it's out in a much more remote area. You know, out in the Badlands near Moab or near Green River, Wyoming. Just kind of out in the middle of no place. Away from civilization. Here, we're in the middle of the city of St. George. So we've got a major road just behind this berm over there. There's a Taco Bell just over yonder where I had lunch. There's some houses. right here. We are literally in the middle of the town. So you don't necessarily have to go far from civilization to find dinosaurs. We've certainly got dinosaurs aplenty right here in the middle of metropolitan St. George, Utah. Wild, it says sacrificial goat. I know, right? Well, that's the thing, is that dinosaurs lived everywhere. Not just in areas that are deserts nowadays. The reason why dinosaur fossils are found in deserts is it's kind of a numbers game. If you've got a lot of exposed rock that's right there on the surface, not covered by trees or roads or Walmarts, then you've got more opportunity to walk around and find those fossils in the first place. You don't normally find dinosaurs just by digging in a random spot and hoping for the best. Hardly ever find anything that way. But in areas where there's a lot of construction and there's a lot of excavation going on for non-paleontological purposes, sometimes fossils turn up. Here in St. George, it is kind of a desert environment. There is a lot of exposed rock, and there's a lot of digging going on too. St. George is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. It's, so there's a lot of excavation, and sometimes things get found because of that. But here, we knew about this before it was going to become. Unfortunately, the city has been able to find a different site to build an electrical substation on, so they want to build it here, an area where we know we have dinosaur tracks, dinosaur bones, fossils of these fishes, like we've got there in that plaster jacket. So, we're here excavating whatever we can while we can, you know. Anyhow. Medib says, are you moving the mountain again? No, literally, they did move this earlier. With that heavy equipment. That road there did not exist yesterday. So, new road cut, not road cut. This is just a pile of loose rock. It's been piled up there. But they cleared this part out in order to bring dump trucks in and out. And the idea is we'll be able to get this area cleared. Thanks to good people like Randy Jones. Bringing in the heavy equipment, big excavators and stuff. And underneath this, we've got this same layer that's bearing all these fishes. This will be under there too. And so hopefully we'll get some other really important fossil fishes out of it. That's the idea. Anyhow. So more fishies still hiding. Exactly, Season B, yeah. And each one of these pits right here, there's a fish that came out of it. And here's one of those right here. So this has been flipped over. This is the underside of a jacket here. And so dig through here for a bit more and you get to a fossil fish. Yeah. Pretty cool. Now, it's a lot warmer than it was yesterday. I'm going to go get some more water before I forget. Yeah. And thank you for the subscription, Sacrificial Goat. I appreciate the support, and it means a lot. All right, let's go get some water. Okay. Thank you for being out there and bringing us along. You bet, Sacrificial Goat. Yeah, anything that I can do to, not just to increase people's understanding of and appreciation for fossil science, but for specific projects like that, like this, where we really need to get the word out. You know, I'm honored to be able to do this, and I'm so glad that you're watching and that you want to support it. So thank you for that. All right, let me get some more water. There we go, and I can turn down my volume a little bit now that they're done with the interviews. And I can turn up my voice. Okay. It's funny, like, turned into a stage whisper like that. It's a little tiring, you know? I can just speak at normal volume. Makes things a lot easier on me. So, it's kind of a relief. And it'll be warmer tomorrow? Yeah. Good thing I'm going to be streaming early tomorrow, before it gets too hot. It's still pretty early in the year for high temperatures in St. George, but man, during the summer, this place gets toasty. Holy cow. There's an old joke like, why does the devil live in hell? Because it was too hot for him in St. George, Utah. Yeah. It gets hot here during the summers.
Are you a student?
Ooh, Andrew's got something over here.
It's just a little.
Oh, shiny though.
Fish scale.
Nice when they're shiny because they actually show up on the camera.
Something in there.
But there is more to it, but I forgot which rock though.
Yes, overall it was good.
More semi-anoded?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's other things right there. I think that's just poop though.
Another scales. Busted scales.
Here's the other half of that pointy thing.
Well, yeah, we get down, and then we get on up to the Beagle Channel.
The expert at work here.
That might be a dorsal ridge scale. That's a keeper. Also, this is interesting right in here. I don't know what's going on until we prep it, but those look like a pile of scales together. So it might be a partial fish, maybe.
Cool.
We do get little 3D fish in these upper layers over there. I don't know where all the bones and stuff are here.
Right.
Anyway,
Well, hopefully knock into a big concentration of them somewhere.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So how far does this layer extend? Like, where's the furthest out that you've seen this same horizon extend to?
You mean at this particular site? Oh, it used to go right on top of the hill.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, like, hundreds of meters.
Oh, yeah. Massive.
Shoot. Okay.
And, of course, it continues, and we're able to see it in the road cut on Riverside Drive. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Super
Cool.
rich.
Yeah. Awesome.
And, of course, then there's other layers below that do contain fish, but we're not going to be touching those.
Yeah.
We have massive collections that were taken from the hill. We helped to build a museum. We called it an aquarium fish beds.
I like it.
We have these structures we call fish sticks. And we called in Dr. Karen Chin.
Right, to see if they were coprolites?
To see, because we thought it might be coprolites.
Yeah, yeah.
It turned out they're these big, long structures that are like 1.5 meters long. And they taper out at each end. And they're all about 1 meter apart from each other, parallel to the shoreline of the lake.
Oh.
So they're rolls of fish debris, ostracods, and glucostrums that's all mixed together.
Interesting.
And they kind of, when fish dies, they
Yeah. You get those fish kills where they just.
Tilapia.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal.
That makes a lot of sense.
Kind of rolls of nasty, stinky fish stuff.
It smells a lot better when it's fossilized, thankfully.
Yeah. So Dr. Ed Simpson will be coming out to look at the material.
Nice, yeah. We've had Ed on stream before in Doling's Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ed's going to come and check that out. He's also going to be looking at the microbial mat surfaces.
Nice, very cool.
He'll be assisting us with that publication when we describe the concept.
Cool. Yeah. Any word from Papa Jim, when he's going to show up?
I just called him and you've got Jim Kirkland's cell phone, please leave a message. Anyway. another try.
Yeah. Be the one calling Jim for a change.
Yeah, it's great.
I never thought I'd see it.
Now we're really excited to have you before we end the stream, Pete, but it's always great to have Jim on camera. And that's, by the way, for those of you who have not yet met Papa Jim, that is Utah State paleontologist Jim Kirkland, discoverer of Utahraptor and Gastonia and a number of other dinosaurs, some of your favorites, you know? So yeah, again, it's always great to have Jim out here, and he was really excited to wax lyrical about this site and its importance, and like he says, his big part of his job is to be a cheerleader for Utah paleontology, rah fossil science. Does a good job of it, and looking forward to having some of that today, you know? Yeah. And Salamander's this great shirt, Andrew. Yeah, I know, right? We'll have to take a look at that later. Spinosaur fishing one. Yeah. And Ace SP says, Jim is how I found the stream. He posted it on Blue Sky. Very nice. Awesome. Good stuff. Jim is also quoted in that article that just came out this morning in the Salt Lake Tribune, too. So, you got a link for it. Yeah. And Kira Tilly says, really fun stream. One of my viewers was talking about this channel, and it sounded like the type of thing my crew would enjoy. Well, thank you, Kyla Tilly. With an L, not an R. Kyla, thank you. Really appreciate it. Did you rate it? Excellent, yeah. Thank you, Kyla Tilly. I hope you had a wonderful stream. It's great to have you here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. And welcome to St. George, Utah. We are gonna see who else we can talk to here, and then at some point I might do some digging too. But let me show you what's going on with the heavy equipment right now. There's Ammon Bateman there from AB Excavation. He's volunteering his time and his equipment to help us out. That is a lot of rock fingers. It's pretty rare, in my experience at least, to have heavy equipment on a paleontological dig like this. So it's quite a treat to not have to be moving that overburden myself with hand tools, you know? Just sit back and drink some cold water and watch it happen, you know? What a privilege. Bless you. Really cool to see some media happening. I was hoping I wasn't going to be the only one filming and getting the word out about this, so it's really cool to see, like, you know, legit news out here. Makes me smile. And Science Streams, Balint, I'm glad you're here. How are things? It's good to see you. I hope the science communication's been going well, Balint. Anyhow. Eagle Motorsports says, what was found? Well, holy cow, what hasn't been found? So, I'm in St. George, Utah right now. We are across the street from the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site Museum right there. I love that I can just walk over here now that this has all been dug out. Museum. Don't even have to clamber up that hill. They're dinosaur footprint sites in the world. That museum was built over the top of it, so the tracks are there where they were, where they have been for the past 200 million years. From the beginning of the Jurassic period until now, those tracks are there in the ground. The museum was built on top. But that trackway horizon, those fossil footprints, that layer extends for hundreds of meters in all directions, or at least it used to, until some of these things were were like developed. So there's a grocery store over there now. There's a Taco Bell. This is literally on top of a layer of dinosaur tracks, and that layer extends through here as well. And not just dinosaur tracks, but also bones and teeth of dinosaurs in here too. They're a bit more rare, to be sure, but they're here. And we've got tons of fossil fishes as well, because what's represented here is an ancient lake environment. So there is a huge inland lake. Of course, lakes have to be inland. You know what I mean? In the middle of the continent, a huge lake, maybe about the size of Lake Erie today. The name that we've come up with for it is Lake Whitmore. And so on the shores of this lake, dinosaurs were running around in the water. They were chasing fishes to eat, doing their dinosaur thing. And the fish are doing their fish thing. Fish were leaving traces along the muddy, clayey bottom of this lake too. So we've got like zigzag marks and stuff from fishes swimming around, their fins touching the bottom. We've got all kinds of invertebrates. We've got burrows from worms and critters like that too. And we've got fossil plants. That's all right here. It's pretty cool. It is pretty darn cool. And Pretzel says this seems like a massive operation. I mean, we're trying to garner as much support and people power as we can for this. The reason why we're doing this right now is that this site is going to be bulldozed in just a few weeks. A lot like, you know, that area over there behind the museum. This is going to be developed. The city's actually going to be building a power substation right here. And so we didn't have a lot of notice. If we had like, you know, a few years to be able to excavate here, it would be a lot easier, but we don't have that kind of time. So we're trying to get as many fossils out of the ground, collect as many specimens, collect as much data as we can in the next few weeks before this area is destroyed, before the bulldozers roll in. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, so we do have some support from the city. This is on city property, by the way. So is the museum. Yeah, it's kind of a complicated story. This used to be private land. Johnson Farm used to be right here. And then Johnson discovered dinosaur tracks on the site. We talked about this when we were... So, again, if you haven't seen that VOD, check it out. That's one of my favorite streams I've done recently. It was awesome. Anyway, this is all private land back around 2000. And, yeah, Sheldon Johnson was a local optometrist, eye doctor. He started finding dinosaurs. Cool. Wow, I could sell some dinosaur tracks. And then he started finding more and more of them. Some paleontologists looked at it and he realized this is something really important. These don't need to be sold. This needs to be saved. Everybody needs to see this. And with some community support, they, well, first of all, he decided to, I think, sell or donate the land to the city. And then with some community support, they built a museum. And it is a world-class museum in there. Again, check out the VOD from the other day. So this land was all deeded to the city, and now the city is deciding to bulldoze part of it in order to build an electrical substation here. We just found out about this, what, like a month or two ago? So it's been all hands on deck, coming here and trying to salvage whatever we can, you know? Anyhow. But yeah. Pretzel says, I've seen the tour. It was fantastic. Great guide, too. I know, right? Andrew Milner, who is currently getting asked 5 different questions by different people. We would go talk to him, but he's too busy right now. Yeah. The Madib says, isn't it ironic that the landowner gave the city the land to save the dinosaur tracks, and the city is destroying the dinosaur tracks. I mean, I'm not going to say anything that's going to get me in trouble. But there's definitely some irony there, for sure. Yeah. And Claire Burr, I like the way you said that. Claire says, there are some shifts in power and some promises forgotten. What matters now is we act to preserve as much as we can. Thanks very much for your interest. There you go. Thank you, Claire. Yeah. That's the attitude we're taking. Our prime directive here is to collect as many of these important fossils as we can before they're gone. Get it done, exactly, Claire. Yeah. Let's take a look over here. Fresh surface over here. Again, that was the back wall of the this level of the quarry just a little while ago. It's pretty awesome what Emmett's been able to do in that short amount of time. Nice. And we'll see if we can go talk to Jaleesa about the news folks. Get the skinny on that. Hey, on camera?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Jaleesa, so she's the woman to contact if anybody's interested in volunteering.
Yes.
Or making like an in-kind donation or something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, anyway. Really cool that we've got news here. So I'm guessing that's for radio and that's for TV?
Yep. So
awesome.
Here our local PR, and
Very
then
cool.
she is with community education with Utah Tech University. So,
okay, cool. Very cool.
Station. It's kind of our more public education, which is really cool.
That is really cool, yeah. It's nice to get this kind of attention, and hopefully that garners more support and more people to volunteer and that kind of thing. So, yeah, cool. Good job. You look really comfortable doing that. So, like, it seems like you've done this before.
I'm glad I look comfortable doing it. I don't feel comfortable doing
really?
it. No.
It could have fooled me.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit because I don't want to like be in the background of all of these clips and stuff.
Oh, I think you're totally fine. Like,
okay.
I said probably 75 times with him, so I was just kind of yapping with him.
I'm sure it comes across as very genuine, you know?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Are they with us or they're just checking things out?
I'm not quite sure. I guess I could go talk to them. I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, about 200 people that have kind of gone through the volunteer application process, and so I don't know who any of them are.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had someone tell me today, they're like, yeah. I don't know your name. You know, so many Jasons and Jasons email me.
What
But,
yeah. Well, cool. People from my audience who have contacted you or are going through the official channels and everything. Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you have reached out to me and I have been MIA. I have been getting lots of emails every day.
An insane number of emails. Yeah.
I have a 7-month-old at home that I'm also taking care of.
Yeah, I got to meet him the other day. Yeah, he's very well behaved for a 7-month-old.
Yeah, he's not too bad. Today is his 7-month birthday, so.
Congrats to him. Wow, nice.
So I do have a baby at home, and that's part of why I'm taking a minute to respond to emails. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so please understand everybody, but thank you, Jaleesa. A huge part of why this is successful is because of you. So.
Thank you.
You know that already, but I like to say it. Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Yeah. Jaleesa, she is deputy curator at utah.dinosaurs.org. That's the email address if you want to come help out. We are absolutely taking volunteers. In fact, almost everybody here is a volunteer or, in this moment, a member of the media. Yeah, good stuff. And DCI Bank says, will we find any bat fossils? No bat fossils here. And I can say that unequivocally because this is about 150 million years before bats evolved. So we barely even have mammals at this point in Earth history, let alone derived mammals like bats. Bats don't show up until, what, the Eocene, I think? Maybe the Paleocene, but we haven't found any Paleocene bats yet. But anyway, after the dinosaurs have gone extinct, except for birds. Yeah. That might even be one of the reasons why bats evolved is, well, it is that, the extinction of dinosaurs and other critters like pterosaurs kind of opened up a space for bats to inhabit, There's some open niches there. So this isn't bat country? No, shoot. This isn't bat country. Not here in the earliest Jurassic, no. You have to wait another 150 million years. But, yeah. And bats are hard to fossilize, that's very true. Much like birds, they've got very delicate bones. And so bat fossils are actually exceedingly rare, even after bats have evolved. You don't get a lot of them. Yeah. And DCI Bank says bats and the birds survived, right? So bats didn't exist during the Cretaceous period. They didn't exist during the entire Mesozoic, the age of dinosaurs. Bats show up later. So after the big asteroid, if that makes sense. That one that caused the extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. That's kind of what paved the way for bats, in a sense. They didn't exist before then. Yeah. And there you go, my tips. And Wombat Hole says, not sure I've seen many power tools on one of your digs before. That's right, yeah. Well, power tools we do have a rock saw. I don't think I've ever actually gotten that on stream before, but we had one in the Almond Formation of Wyoming. Yeah, in fact, I think it's even the same make and model. It's a steel like this. Steel, however you want to say it. Yeah, this one's named Thrill House. Yeah, we've got the Hilti, a little jackhammer that we've used in the Cedar Mountain Formation, and I've shown that on stream. But normally when we're doing excavations, they're not this hasty. Like this is, we've got to excavate as much as we possibly can. This area is going to get bulldozed, and there's a power station that's going to be built on the site. So again, this is not a slow and steady kind of situation. This is a go, 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 let's get this done in the next few weeks while we still can kind of thing, Kibber Bonfire, I'm staying here until tomorrow. I'm probably going to do one more stream here tomorrow morning, so it'll be an early stream tomorrow, and then I got to hit the road, go back to California. I've got some stuff I got to take care of back home, so yeah. There's a chance I'll come back here in a few weeks. but no promises. Nothing's figured out yet. Long hours for the next few weeks is my dibs? Yeah. Yes. Anyhow. Linneus's Thrill House is such a great name. That's a Simpsons reference. Anyway, I'm not going to explain it right now, but you could do a YouTube search. You'll find it. This audience would love it. It's like a, it's a video game joke. I'm gonna go up there and grab some more water, and yeah, it's so cool seeing that heavy machinery operated with such grace and poise. Really neat to see. Pardon? No. Do we?
Dr. Paul Olson, too.
Hey, I'm Danny Anduza. It's good to meet you. Yeah. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Yeah. Cool.
He's willing to talk to you.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Move my mouth, my lips are chapped.
Me too.
I need to get some water, too. But yeah.
I saw you on your YouTube channel.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
I was the 5th one.
Yeah.
One of the guys from the city said, "Hey, you can go out and do a story on this." I'm like, "What's going on? It's in my own town. I don't even know what's going on."
Thank you for helping get the word out, though.
Yeah,
this is really important. Yeah.
It probably won't come out till Monday or Tuesday because I'm going to go across there. And,
okay. Yeah.
But yours is instantaneous. Mine's
exactly
and on television.
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube's a little faster than that. So yeah, but I saw it. It did a great job. Great report. It's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
So I've been in this business 42 years, and mine is not near as fast.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot more polished.
Yeah,
so yeah.
So about this, and would you be in the story?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm actually live streaming right now. We've got 337 people watching.
Right,
so if we could do this, we could do them
that'd be
both
great.
at the same time.
All right, let me give you that.
Should I clip this
Hook
to
it on,
something?
Hook it on there, yeah.
There we go.
You got a hand. I'll give you a hand.
I think I've got it.
I
If
saw,
I can get
like
this.
I said,
Actually, if you wouldn't
I
mind.
liked it on there. Great job, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that's where I'm going today. You beat me.
Sure does not
cooperating. And I live here. That's really cool. But I was working on another story about mayors and hurricanes.
Gotcha.
It's not going on. It's terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't open very far, does it?
It doesn't. It's broken. I need 2 hands. I need a smaller can. And that's where the other side's where I don't want to drop this.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, nice.
Sorry to hook you up there.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, great. Say your name and spell it for me.
Yeah, my name is Danny Anduza. That's Danny, D-A-N-N-Y. Anduza is A-N-D-U-Z-A.
Okay. Danny, I'm going to go this way.
Okay.
Just a hair so the wind's not blowing on you.
Should I look in the lens or should I look at you?
You can look at me.
Okay, great.
This is getting wind on it.
Oh, okay. I'll turn away from it like that.
Yeah, Danny, tell me about what brought you out of here. How'd you hear about this?
Yeah, so I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I've done a lot of work with the Utah Geological Survey, done some other excavations in the region, and I heard about this from Utah's state paleontologist Jim Kirkland. I've worked with him a lot in the past, and since I was a kid, I'd read about the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site, and I was dreamed of coming here. It's my first time being here, and I'm really glad that I'm able to help out, not just with the excavation, but also in helping to get the word out about this. So I'm actually live streaming right now. We've got about 350 people watching, and yeah, it's cool to be able to get people excited about this, to get the word out, and to enlist the support of volunteers, people donating equipment, donating funds. I feel like I'm making a difference here, and it's a good feeling, you know?
And what's this site like compared to others?
This site is unique as far as I'm concerned. This is a world-class assemblage of dinosaur tracks, invertebrate traces, bones and scales and teeth, and there's not many sites like this in the world from this time period. This is kind of when the dinosaurs are really starting to take over the Earth. So it's like and this is a special site kind of recording what this environment like 200 million years ago.
And what do you like about paleontology?
So ever since I was a tiny little kid, I was always obsessed with dinosaurs. My parents actually joke that I decided I wanted to become a paleontologist the same day I realized I couldn't grow up to be a dinosaur. So I did the next best thing. There's something really fascinating about kind of the depth of time on our planet and all of these creatures that inhabited it before we came along. I think in the same way that maybe like an astronomer can look up at the stars and get that wonderful feeling of smallness, a paleontologist can look back in time and get that same kind of wondrous small feeling. And yet it's still a feeling of connection, like this is our own planet. And these were critters that were here, long before us, but this is not all that distant. Like, we can actually study this. We can look at these rocks, we can look at these fossils, we can figure out what was going on back then. So even though it's very distant, it's also very close, it's tangible. And I think that's really special.
And maybe someday we'll be getting dug up.
Yeah, one can hope, right?
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much, yeah. Yeah, what was your name?
Melissa Anderson.
Melissa.
Community Education Channel.
Great to meet you,
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thanks.
And so the viewers, where can they catch your stuff?
It's Community Education Channel.
Community Education Channel.
On YouTube.
Okay.
Under Community Education.
Okay.
So there's probably, I don't know how many stories are on there now. Anyway, it's the one with the most stories. Community
Excellent.
Education.
We'll get a link to that and we'll have people watch. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Should I take this off?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Melissa.
You.
Yeah. Hopefully that went okay. A little bit tongue-tied there for a minute, but good stuff. It was great. Thanks, Trek Nerd. Yeah. Here, let me go get some water. I should have done that before that little impromptu interview, but that's okay. This is nice getting this all cleared off. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah? Oh, wow. Look at that. Holy cow. Yeah, boy, that is... Wow. I'm incredibly flattered. You went and got this printed. Thank you so much. Holy
You're
moly.
welcome, man. As I was doing some 8x10s for them, it was like I printed that one up for you, it was like yesterday, so yeah.
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey,
holy cow.
no problem, man.
Let's get another shout out for your Instagram, too. I think we had the link earlier. But this is incredible. I'm going to frame this. Fantastic. Really appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, man.
You've got some skills, too. This is good work.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Wow. Look at that. Holy mo... I'm glad I've got a safe place to put this. Yeah. High quality print, too. Fujifilm. Nice. Phenomenal. All right. Let's put this in a safe spot and let's get some water. Set this here momentarily. Open this up. There we go. We got a helicopter going overhead. It's another one of those sightseeing helicopters, I think, because this is a very scenic area. Some beautiful geology around St. George. A helicopter. There you go, Charlie's Dragon. That would actually be a great name for like a local helicopter business. Run. It's mostly ice. Might leave that open for a while and let that melt a bit. That's the nice thing about a hydro flask, but it's also an annoying thing sometimes, is that put too much ice in, it's too good at keeping the ice frozen. But I think I've got another water bottle over there that's full of water. Anyhow, actually I'm going to close that so we don't get it full of bugs and dust. So I have enough of both of those in my diet already. Some field work in any given year like I do. Yeah. Fast. All right, looks like Andrew's got something to say. Andrew? Yeah.
Paul.
Didn't really get a chance to talk to him yet, no.
Yeah, so he's just doing a little thing for the news thing over here.
Yeah,
but, you should talk to Paul.
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken to Paul?
I have not. I've never met him before.
He's
Yeah.
a famous dude.
Yeah.
When it comes to paleontology and geology.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And he's a big supporter of this site.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to talking to him. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then Bennett Slivick over here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, very cool.
He was
Okay.
just studying some of the footprints in the museum the other day.
Nice.
Looking
Okay.
at our fracture traces.
Very cool. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I'll make sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah, make sure I talk to him. We were getting some compliments on your shirt earlier too.
No. I wish I had another one still in good condition. I can't remember. I forgot the guy that sent it.
Yeah.
No, Primal B.
When do you get a second half?
Yeah.
He made these.
Oh, cool.
He sent me one because of this one crack.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Dinosaur.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Hold on and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I work on fishing dinosaurs, so maybe I should make a shirt like that one of these days and then send Andrew, send him one. But, yeah. Alright, so eventually, maybe today, I'm gonna try and pop that jacket. Yeah. I wonder if we'll be using the jackhammer or what, but it's hard to be working by hand and we don't necessarily have the time for it. Right. So we might have to use the Hilti on that.
I think we will.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna walk in front of you.
Yeah. Let's see. Waiting in the wings over here to get a chance to talk to Paul Olson. Yeah. Yeah.
He was in a documentary I used to watch as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if he's in any that I've shown on stream. I think so, actually.
Have you
Yeah.
showed When Dinosaurs Roamed America?
Yes.
That's the one he's in. Him and Jim are in that one.
Oh, for the New Mexico stuff? Like the...
I want to say he... Why do I think he was in the Connecticut stuff? There's like a New England kind of section where they're talking about the earliest, you know, the applicable stuff that we're talking about
Connecticut
here.
River Valley, yeah.
I think that's where he is. Friends.
I think I've seen that one then, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the very beginning of that that one.
Gotcha.
So, grew up watching him and Jim Kirkland, so
That's so near at the site today, so lucky us.
hopefully we'll
yeah.
see if Jim shows up, if he pulls through.
Oh, okay. Is he delayed?
Andrew tried to call him earlier and he
He was probably on the
didn't
road,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Hey David, how's it going? Hi, could I get some photos of you?
We can stand up here in the middle.
That is a serious looking microphone. See that there? So he's from the local NPR station. And yeah. Again, you love to see it. Local media starting to cover these things. That's what's going to bring in more support. Hopefully more people bringing in heavy equipment, more volunteers, more donations, all of that. And the biggest thing that we need right now, storage. So shoot, let's talk to Andrew about that for a second, actually. Oh. Some bear spray?
A long hike.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
So, oh, here's Paul.
Hey, Paul. Wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Would you, I'm a little out of it right now. Would you mind introducing yourself to the audience? We've got 367 right now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my name's Paul Olson. I'm a professor of Earth and University, and I'm here to take a look at these wonderful fossils and this incomparable set of displays that are here, and the people working to try to find more.
Awesome. Yeah. Your specialty is, well, I know you've published on dinosaur tracks before and kind of paleoichnological stuff. In your opinion, why is this such an important site?
This site, this wonderful site, is so important because there's basically a whole ecosystem preserved. Not just, they're wonderful dinosaur footprints.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, there are other reptile footprints, there's some possible mammal footprints, there's lots of evidence of the behavior of the animals, but there are also lower parts of the ecosystem. Fish, there are plants here. It's really a wonderful snapshot, a beautiful window into the early Jurassic period, just when dinosaurs were taking over.
Right, yeah. So I know you've worked on some stuff kind of along the eastern seaboard, Connecticut River Valley and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so that's where I got my start actually as a middle school student.
Oh, really?
In a small quarry that was for clean fill for highways, and there turned out to be dinosaur footprints really close in age to this.
Nice,
in
okay.
fact, maybe even indistinguishable in age. So,
really?
I mean, at the less than 1 million year scale. That close. And so there are the same kinds of footprints, Eubrontes, and Amoebus, the ornithischian dinosaurs.
Right, yeah.
They were there, and that's where I got hooked on paleontology as a kid. So I had a wagon tied to my bicycle that I would go the couple miles to the quarry and would find dinosaur footprints, and my friend Tony and I found hundreds and hundreds of them. And in fact, because of those discoveries, within a few years the site was donated to the Essex County Park Commission and became a park.
Right, yeah.
Not dissimilar to what's happened here. Unfortunately, since that time, which was 1971, some time ago, there's been no development. But that's okay, the rocks are still there, the footprints are still there, and it could be developed in the future. And in fact, this kind of museum is a fantastic model for seeing that kind of stuff in place. It's really a wonderful exhibit in that way. And having all this extra material that's being found, these other parts of the ecosystem, it's really kind of a different world than the kinds of terrestrial communities that we're used to.
Right.
If you go to the watering hole, right? You mostly see.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You see lots of herbivores, and the carnivorous group they're rare.
Yeah.
Right. But here it's inverted. There are far more evidence of carnivores than there are herbivores. And one of the insights that I know people like Andrew Milner have come up with, and Jim Kirkland, is that maybe one of the reasons that's the case is because these carnivorous dinosaurs were all feeding on fish.
Right, yeah.
The very kinds of fish that are being found right now and have been found in association with the footprints at the exhibit.
Very cool, yeah. What kind of differences do you see between that environment? It's basically as this, in like Connecticut, Massachusetts,
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So,
yeah.
so that region, in fact, was a series of rift valleys, similar to East Africa.
Sure. As Pangea is kind of rifting apart right there.
Rifting apart.
Yeah.
And actually, it was the largest rift system we know of to have ever existed.
Oh wow.
It stretched from Greenland through Europe, North Africa, and Eastern North America, and then actually went all the way to the Pacific.
Wow.
So it was cutting that supercontinent in half. And this huge series of basins formed, most of which are actually still buried beneath younger material, but some of them are exposed.
Sure.
Like the Connecticut Valley, like the Newark Basin in New Jersey. And they had really enormous lakes in them, as large as the African Great Lakes today, that fluctuated in depths. And when their depths were low, they had these huge expanses of mud flats.
Right.
And that's where we found the footprints.
The tracks, right. Yeah.
But unlike here, the bones are much, much more rare. And so we have literally thousands and thousands of footprints. They're incredibly common in museum collections. But this is the site here in St. George, what's so interesting about it, as a complement to the stuff in the east and vice versa, is that here the water was relatively shallow. The dinosaur footprints are right there. We know those dinosaurs were feeding on the fish, and so it's a much tighter link of the parts of the ancient ecosystem.
Interesting. In terms of the fauna that's represented there, I know you said you don't have too many body fossils from that site. Do the faunas look similar? Have you got the same kinds of fishes, semianodids, lobefin fishes?
At a level of the basic kind of fish that you have, like shark versus semianodis, there's much more diversity.
Much more here.
So
interesting.
We only have, let's see, semianodis, red fieldius, Tycholepis, and coelacanths. And in Nova Scotia there are also some sharks. But that's all we have. Here there's a greater diversity. Here there's some things here we don't get at all. Like this little paleoniciform they have, which we don't know what it is, but it's very interesting and different. And the sharks are much more common here. And the lungfish, that's another difference. We don't have those at all.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Wow.
But in terms of the reptile fauna, identical. And my student Bennett, who's walking around here somewhere, he's working on an assemblage which is a little bit older than this, still after the major extinction at the end of the Triassic. But it has tracks preserved very, very similar to this. It's now an adult community. But when it was being quarried, it produced a large number of footprints with styles of preservation very similar. Yeah, the really three-dimensional ones, that kind of thing. Really,
interesting.
Very similar.
The absence of things like lungfish there, is that a collection bias thing? Is it just, or do you think it actually reflects a difference in the environment itself?
Well, we have very few sites that produce shallow water, small vertebrates. Bones.
Gotcha.
So it could be collection bias.
Or like a sample size thing, yeah.
We thought, so until relatively recently, there were no lungfish known from all of eastern North America.
Really?
Zero.
Wow.
But then they were found in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And so that was a microsite, and so it could be that they're here, they're there, I should say. I'm not here. And could be collection bias. I kind of suspect so, but we don't know that for a fact. You don't know what you don't know.
It's hard to say, yeah. Perennial problem in paleontology for sure. Can you maybe tell us why ichnofossils, tracks in particular maybe, are so interesting to you personally?
Well, besides my own personal history and involvement from childhood, they're really interesting to me for a number of reasons. The biggest reason is that they give you a window into living animals, animal motion that you can infer from bones, but you don't really know they move that way. But when you see a footprint, you know that's how they move.
Right.
There are fewer levels of inference between the fossil and your understanding of motion. So that's one really big reason. The second reason is to get an idea what these communities were like, who's around, if you were going on the basis of bones, you wouldn't know there were large theropods at all. So the footprints provide direct evidence of that, and they're super, super common. The third reason they're really interesting to me is because they're so abundant. You can trace the changes in the communities through time at a level that's simply not at all possible.
Right.
So the end Triassic mass extinction, one of those big five that's so famous, that one shows up like gangbusters in the footprints. And you can see that the faunal turnover occurred at the scale of tens of thousands of years or less. And you'd never know that from the bones.
Interesting. That's really cool, getting that kind of resolution from tracks.
You're kind of the pollen of vertebrates.
I like that. Big sample sizes.
Big sample sizes and present in a lot of rocks.
Very, very cool. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, this might be like a little too inside baseball, but I'm not sure. There's an idea that I've heard that one of the reasons why theropod tracks are so commonly found is that maybe they tended to be more active than other dinosaurs and just kind of got their steps in a little bit better than ornithischian dinosaurs or sauropodomorphs or something.
It is conceivable that their behavioral patterns simply produced a lot more tracks. Also, when you had a bunch of theropods around, maybe you wouldn't want to be a small ornithischian running around the same place.
Good point.
However, the abundance is just so overwhelming. And while there are late Jurassic and Cretaceous sites that also have an overabundance of theropod tracks, you have many, many, many places that the ornithischian or the sauropod tracks are more common. And right now I've been doing a lot of work in China. And in China, the late Triassic, early Jurassic units, especially in northwest China, were above the Arctic Circle. And in those areas, we see some theropod dinosaurs, but the ornithischians are more common.
Interesting. Further north, ornithischians being more common.
And in fact, we find those footprints with evidence of freezing conditions, with what's called ice-rafted debris. And so it looks like these dinosaurs are roaming around in an environment which froze in every winter. And we think they were living there permanently. It's interesting to see the ornithischians more common.
Right. Especially with recent suggestions that like maybe ornithischians basally were ectothermic or something like that. Like
I don't have any direct pointed criticisms of the actual ideas themselves. But the evidence of those being more common at higher latitudes doesn't speak well for them being ectothermic.
Gotcha.
And in fact, we know that basal ornithischians, small basal ornithischians were insulated. That also doesn't go along with ectothermy so
exactly,
well.
Having integument like that,
Right, there's no doubt that was how they were. So, and it wasn't like they just had a few like Psittacosaurus, right? Chilodromeus was completely covered except for the tail. And Tyanulong,
Heterodontosaur,
was completely covered in fuzz. So that, again, doesn't bode well for them being primitively ectothermic.
Right. Could I have you speak maybe for a minute on this idea of trying to match dinosaur tracks or the tracks of any kind of organism to the body fossils? Like, what are the challenges there?
That's a thing of mine.
Okay, yeah.
That's a real thing. And my student Bennett's too. That's a real thing. So we use, for our analysis of what tracks go with what kinds of animals, we use what's called an ichnoCladistic method, in which we look for features in the feet that are features that unite clades of organisms, and it's by finding those features that we're able to group the footprints with the skeletal taxa.
What kinds of features would those be?
So, for example, some of them are really kind of obvious, really
number of toes and stuff like that.
Number of toes, having 5-fingered hands.
Sure,
It's 5-fingered hand, it's not a theropod.
Exactly,
No matter how you want to interpret it, it's not a theropod. So that's one kind of feature. Then another one that seems to be quite interesting is the nature of the skin on the feet. So that looks like at the level of dinosaurs plus their nearest relatives like pterosaurs and even some suchians, the crocodile lines, they have what are called reticuli on the podotheca, which is what you call a bird's foot. That's fleshy.
Sure.
And if you look at like the feet of Anemepus, the Ornithischian track, or you look at Eubrontes or Grollet or Anchisoropus, you can't tell the difference. They have these pebble-like scales.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You look at this bigger thing, Otozoum, which was a sauropodomorph, which you don't have here yet, but you do have in the Navajo.
Right.
Formation.
Yeah.
If you look at those, the scales are huge, exactly like the skin of sauropods. So now you have this big group of organisms, which includes everything from pterosaurs to dinosaurs. They all have the same kind of skin on their feet.
Yeah.
And then you see these sauropodomorphs, different. So sauropods and Otozoum, that's a potential character.
Okay.
You group those two together. And skeletally agree, but the problem with the skeletons of the feet of basal sauropodomorphs is that they have characters that are primitive at a level lower than dinosaurs. So 4 prominent toes, right? Well, that's really doesn't limit the kinds of animals they can be.
That's like
right?
just about any ornithodiron, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so you need these other features, but they're all embedded within a larger phylogenetic framework.
Interesting. Very cool. Yeah. I wanted to ask you too if there's anything, if you could maybe tell us any stories about particular discoveries that have made through fossil dinosaur tracks that would not be immediately obvious just looking at skeletons, whether it's like something to do with gait or posture or way the animal moves or something like that.
We actually have some stories that are really good, but I can't tell you them.
Oh, okay. Not published yet.
Not published yet, and we're aiming at a high-profile journal.
All right.
But it does involve their integument. And it's pretty clear stuff. There are elements of their walking behavior that my colleagues have worked on, like Peter Falkingham and Steve Gatesy, and they've used these very deep footprints, which we call penetrative footprints, that really don't show all that much anatomy because they're all mushy, but they show when analysis of them how the foot is moving.
Gotcha.
In these substrates.
How the digits are flexing and that kind.
There's no way you'd get that out of the bones.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So that's a nice sort of example of how you learn something about their structure. And of course, the other thing you learn immediately is who's like around the watering hole.
Right.
Yeah. Who's around? What are the communities? Who's really contemporaneous? Which is hard to do often with bones.
Yeah, it really, without really like super high resolution stratigraphy, if these are animals that are walking across the same mud flat, that they lived at the same time in the same place. Yeah.
And so it really gives us a very complementary view to the skeletal information. And again, with some kinds of information, you just can't get out of anything else.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. Again, trackways important. Trying to get this idea across.
Very. Trackways are extremely important. Not every footprint's sacred, but it's certainly very important to get assemblages like this that we have here in St. George, get them understood within their context. Really, very important.
Nice. Before I let you go, I want to ask if you can think of any common misperceptions, even among the general public, about footprints, about dinosaur tracks, about paleoichnology in general. What are some myths that you would love to see exploded?
Well, I think that the fundamental myth, is these are related to what dinosaurs are in general, is that they are somehow fundamentally tropical, warm-adapted animals. That seems to be a myth which is exploding relatively rapidly. They're living in the polar regions, and there's also this bias towards the herbivores up there, right? And so we see this in the tracks, and here again is some of the unique value of tracks, just contrasting similar environments in different climates, and you see in one place the theropods are super abundant, the other place the ornithischians are super abundant. So that's again related to are somehow inferior dinosaurs. Thing is, of course, feathering
Mhm.
in integument in dinosaurs. These smaller dinosaurs were almost certainly covered in insulation. Now, something that got up to the size that could make you Brontes in this paleo latitude,
Mhm.
which is relatively low latitudes, maybe not so much.
Wouldn't have had need for that kind of
Wouldn't
insulation,
need,
yeah.
In fact, could be actually a big detriment.
Sure.
And so, like large animals
Mhm.
in Serengeti, that you see, rhino-sized hippos, elephants, they don't have hair all over them.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's another one. But the
Mhm.
smaller animals will almost certainly be all feathered.
Mhm.
So those are two that I really like. The dinosaurs is warm, adapted animal. I think is just bad. That's wrong.
Agreed. Yeah. Gone are the days that, dinosaurs is like swamp dwelling, critters that would need to bask in the sun in order to warm up in the morning, stuff like that. Like
Well,
these are.
of course, people working on the dinosaurs at that time had no way of knowing
Mhm.
that they would be feathered. I mean, it's ironic in some ways that a dinosaur that probably was feathered was
Mhm.
actually known at that time, Compsognathus,
Mhm.
at the same time as Archaeopteryx
Yep.
was, and that probably had feathery integument.
Yep.
It wasn't until relatively recently that dinosaurs from that same area
Mhm.
were found with the feathery integument.
Right.
And so I don't, I think that's that perfectly viable hypothesis at that time was that feathers,
They were working with the information they had, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
feathers
Give them some
evolved
credit, yeah.
within birds.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we know better.
Yeah.
And these reconstructions of dinosaurs without any feathers are like those varieties of naked cats. Just
Yeah.
it's not what a cat's supposed to look like.
Exactly, yeah. I like that, yeah. I like that analogy a lot. Too. On top, when we're talking about the growth and development of these animals throughout their lifespans, how does that come across in tracks? What sorts of challenges does that present?
That's a really good question. That's
Uh-huh.
something my graduate student should answer.
Oh, okay, great, yeah. Can we bring him on?
Because he's actually working on that.
Awesome. Hey, I'm Danny. Bennett. Good to meet you, Bennett. Yeah. Do you mind introducing yourself real quick? We've got 376 people watching live right now. And if you have any questions, yeah. So he knows what's up. Yeah. So you work on ontogeny and in ichnofossils?
Yeah, so one of the questions I look at is, whether or not what we see in the Newark Basin is like 3 different species of dinosaurs or 3 different ichno-species of dinosaurs, or if it's, one with babies and juveniles and adults, because it's not really clear how, whether or not dinosaurs, maybe continue growing for their whole life. So, yeah, that's.
I can imagine it would present some challenges for sure. Yeah. Do we expect their pedal morphology to change that much as they're growing and maturing? Apart from just proportions,
It's a reasonable question. I mean, I think the proportions of different toes can grow in different ways, potentially.
Yeah.
And that's something we see in that in the smaller tracks, right, the middle digit is projecting more.
Right.
And so it's relatively longer, and that might be a functional adaptation. But what kind of drew us to this question in the first place, especially in the Newark, was that it seemed like there were a lot of small tracks with relatively wide digit splays. And that kind of, those piqued our interest, and so far it looks like that might have been a trick of the eye, and
really
might not have been the case. We have dinosaurs of all sizes, but they're grouped really well into these 3 different sort of stages. But I guess conversely to that, they all fall sort of like logarithmic growth pattern.
Okay, gotcha. It's not like you've got stops and starts. It's just kind of a smooth gradient, as you're saying?
In the tracks themselves, we have stops and starts, but it's conceivable that if they kept growing at the same rate,
I see what you mean.
They would hit that pattern. So it could be a sampling bias, but it looks more and more like it might be 3 different groups, truly.
Interesting. Well, if these animals are breeding seasonally, you might get gaps in sizes that could lead to I'm spitballing here.
Well, no, I mean, it depends, if they're breeding seasonally or if the tracks are only getting preserved seasonally, right?
Right, yeah.
Think about maybe
think about
some
that.
environmental bias towards the taphonomy.
Interesting, yeah. What is it that first drew you to, this kind of work, like paleoichnology?
I was reading Steve Brusati's book,
The rise and fall of dinosaurs?
Rise and
yeah,
fall.
Yeah, okay.
I was an undergraduate at Columbia, and he said, there's this guy at Columbia, Paul Olson, who teaches an undergraduate dinosaur course. And I at the time, I was majoring in mechanical engineering, and I had it was never something that I considered doing for myself as a career, but I was like, oh, well, that sounds like a fun course. I might as well take it. I took it, and I was sitting there, and I was using it, working for the dinosaurs course to procrastinate my other courses. And I thought, I really like doing this work. Maybe I should think about this or stick with it. And I just decided to kind of take that and run with it. So.
Nice, cool. Well, welcome to the dark side.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. So, what is a dream track trace, something like that you wish you could find? I get question to both of you right now.
That's a good question.
What would be the holy grail of dinosaur paleoichnology? Maybe a carcass at the end of a trackway or something like that?
A carcass at the end of the trackway would be great. A fully kind of feathered dinosaur that sat down, had all of its feathers arrayed around it, with its hands down too. That would be great.
I see Paul nodding here, yeah.
I mean, I think anything that sort of connects the dots, like whether it's the track maker track association or just some definitive proof on feather question, or some really weird behavior, like, oh, I've put the side of my face down next to my hand. That would be great. That I think it was a Psittacosaurus cloaca impression.
Right, yeah.
That was the type of thing I'd love to find.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. Holy cow. Yeah. And I remember I heard a rumor about this a long time ago, and I'm not sure how true it is, but there's a rumor that some of the stuff that you've got out there on the East Coast might actually have imprints of feathers. I think it was it some of Hitchcock's tracks?
Garlinsky.
What's that?
Garlinsky. Gerhard Garlinsky in Poland worked on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think there was a question whether those were actually traces of integument, or whether that was just like a microbial mat or something like that with
I could take
with
that.
Creases on it. Yeah.
I think the
Well, first I should explain we should explain what it is before we talk about. So it's tracks and maybe some sit traces that have got lines coming off of them.
I think the one you're talking about, it's a sitting Eubrontes trace, and it's got these weird sort of, they're almost like pine tree shaped impressions. Kind of spattered all around. I would say those are folding of the mud.
Folding of the mud, okay.
You can see in other places that the mud layers are overlapped on top of each other on that track. And if you were kind of trying to trace filaments through the mud, that's not really the sort of impression they would make.
Gotcha, okay.
But I don't think it's an impossibility. It's something that people are definitely keeping their eyes open for, and would be a big find if it was found.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How much work is being done with modern critters like ratites to see what kinds of traces they leave, and maybe using that as an analog for dinosaurs?
So Peter Falkingham and Gatesy and some of the other kind of more physical modelers have done some really cool work using, I'm forgetting the acronym. No, I know it's guinea fowl, but they use a video X-ray machine.
Oh, okay.
To look, both at the sediment as it's being deformed and at the movement of modern birds.
Oh, interesting.
And that sort of stuff has been really fascinating and I think quite informative. Yeah, and that's mostly been motivated by the penetrative tracks that Paul was saying, which people used to think were either a separate species of what Hitchcock thought, or just totally worthless. Stuff that you'd throw away. And I think there's analogs are always helpful, especially when you're looking at the assumption we make that these things are walking on algal mats is a reasonably big one, but that's informed by modern analogs.
Sure.
If you find the right conditions, you can make really detailed traces that'll last for a long time. And so that sort of, the analog work is really important to ground truthing, but is happening for sure. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. What's something that, I already asked this to Paul, what's something that you wish the public knew about dinosaur tracks or something like that? What's maybe a myth or a misconception that you find particularly annoying that you'd like to dispel?
That's a good question.
I can give you a minute to think about it too.
No, I think the misconception for me is that they're rare. I think they're much more common than people realize.
They're more common than dinosaur body fossils, right?
Exactly. And when you're somewhere like here, it's more obvious. If you had grown up in St. George, you might know about this. But I grew up in New York City, and Rocky Hill, Connecticut was like an hour and a half away, and I'd never heard of it my whole life. And
we've probably got New Yorkers in the chat right now who've never heard of it.
New Yorkers, shout out Big Apple.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's like this sort of stuff is everywhere, and the reason it's easier to find out here is not because it's more common per se, it's because there's
rocks are
plants
exposed
in the way. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of good paleontology anywhere there's sedimentary rocks. So you don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
I guess.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for talking with me. I really appreciate this.
Thanks for having us.
I might chase you down later and ask some questions too if we get some from the chat, but really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Cool. And Ace SP says, it's so interesting that everyone who has volunteered has such a different story and knows so much. Yeah, well, I mean, these guys are pros. Dr. Paul Olson and Bennett, what was your last name? Slybeck. Bennett Slybeck. Thanks again.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Folks know a little bit about Twitch. It's kind of surprising to me sometimes when I go there. But and Paul Olson is a legend. Absolutely Neverwonderful. I'm like a little bit starstruck right now. But pretty cool. I'm gonna go get some water because I really need it. Oh, we might ask them to actually look at some of these tracks later and talk about them, because I think that would be pretty darn cool. But do a water break first. And all right, it's like 4:30. Hopefully Jim gets here too. He should be here tomorrow also, so if he doesn't show up in time for stream today, we should be able to get a little bit of Jim time before before I gotta go home.
The fact that the fish scales are all there, right?
Good stuff. Claire says, if I know Jim, he pulled over to look at some stratigraphy. Maybe, I don't know. He can also interpret that stuff pretty quickly from, like at highway speeds. But hey, if anybody's just joining us, I should do a quick station break here. We've got 400 people watching. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Welcome to St. George, Utah. We're here this emergency fossil excavation. We are directly across the street from the St. George Dinosaur Discovery Site Museum, built over, like the building is a shell, over this 200 million year old dinosaur trackway, set of trackways. Incredible place. Check out the video from when I did a stream there the other day. We got a VIP tour. It was incredible. That same layer containing those tracks extends across the road over here. So this is a continuation of that same site. And unfortunately, this site here, which is kicking out dinosaur tracks, fossil fishes, both the traces and the bodies of invertebrates and plants and all kinds of other organisms, really, really scientifically important from the very beginning of the Jurassic. This is slated to be destroyed in just a few weeks. The bulldozers are going to be rolling in, and this will no longer be accessible. We won't be able to study it. We won't be able to collect specimens. We're trying to get everything out that we can right now. So we're trying to enlist the help of the local community and you folks at home too. There's links to donate. There's an Amazon wish list for different supplies that we need to continue our work here. And if you have the wherewithal, you can even come and volunteer. If you've always dreamed of being on a dinosaur dig, now's your chance. It doesn't require any experience. If you you can get yourself here and you don't mind the dust. We'd love to have you here. We can show you how it all works too. So on-site training. My camera's still working. It is. Local folks have also elected to help us out. So there's Ammon right there operating that tractor. That's Ammon Bateman from AB Excavation. He's doing this for us for free. It's He's a good guy. I mean, this is truly impressive, and yeah, look at him gingerly move that shovel. Nice. Look at that precision. Very nice. Some GGs in the chat. Anywho, this upper layer here has not been super productive, and since Tom is not something we have on our side, he's helping move a lot of this stuff for us, rubble, and look for any bones, any teeth, any scales, whatever else. But down here, in this bluish layer underneath, that's where we're getting our fossil fishes. So the most complete critters we've been getting so far, at least in terms of vertebrates, are our fishes. Some of them are almost certainly going to be new species, so it's important stuff. Oh, and look who just walked up. Right there, Papa Jim himself. We'll go say hello to him in a little bit. Glad he got here. Let's see if he needs anything. There he is. Excellent. I'm glad he made it here in time.
And that's up on the Cayenne then? And then below it.
We're getting a paleontologist reunion here. You love to see it. Yeah. Yeah. He'll be here tomorrow as well, and I think for about the next week. Yeah.
See the swim track right here?
I did not, no. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Very nice. Dinosaur swim tracks. And the lighting is perfect right now for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's... So yeah, that one right there is a really good one.
Uh-huh. So yeah, again, for anybody who wasn't here for the tour the other day, this is what we call a swim track or a swim trace. So as these dinosaurs are moving through this lake, some of them are, light enough to be able to float. And so they're just kind of kicking their feet. And then sometimes their toes would scrape the bottom, and you get these scrape marks like that. And then, is this one here too?
I think
it looks
that,
like it, yeah.
That is, but I'm not sure if that is part of the foot rest of the foot. That I know, that's just a claw right there. Like some of these really thin ones, those are your claws.
Right.
So these right here might be the part of the full foot going like that, slightly, and then, but.
Very cool. Yeah. Again, this is the sort of thing that this site is producing. This is what we're trying to save here, Yeah, evidence of dinosaur behavior.
Yeah, that one's deeper as well, so.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Small one right here.
Here, let's go say hi to Jim real quick.
Great seeing you. Hey. Enjoy your time here.
Will do. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Okay.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, it's Papa Jim. Yeah.
Man.
How you doing, Jim?
Oh, it's a long drive.
Yeah. It's
really
good to see you here, though. Yeah.
Motoring away.
Yep.
This knee is just toast lately. I can't, right there. A few inches.
Well, we appreciate you being here. That's.
I figure I can sit on a chair and ID
we got some
stuff.
chairs,
Yeah, I brought one too.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, another swim track. Nice.
There's one right there as well, but it's not done as well as those two. But.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah. Anyway, everybody in the chat is saying hi, Jim. They missed you.
Hey, tell ya, could have used some of you folks to help drive me down. I about an hour or so from here, I was thinking of pulling over and taking a nap.
Well, shoot, if I weren't, streaming, I could come get you.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for 10 days.
I'm probably taking off tomorrow around noon.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I got here
Ah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious urban site, isn't it?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It's wild, just right in the middle of the town. There's houses right there, you know?
There was
Just
nothing here.
Back in what, 2000?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. And the road was dirt.
It's wild, it really is. But anyway, it's good to see you, Jim.
All right, yeah, go get to it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just running over to the museum with Paul to show him that bizarre looking trace we found the other day.
Cool, yeah.
We rock sawed out. So he wants to see it in person.
Nice.
He has ideas, so.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear about those ideas, if he's willing to share when you get back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Wow, excellent. I know the stream started off a little slow today, but yeah, so many cool things, so many cool people. It's good to be here. I'm gonna be a little bit sad to leave, honestly. Yeah. Maybe go check in with Hannah up there in a minute. But we got something interesting going on over here. Can I bug you for a minute?
Sure. Which one?
What's this? Yeah. What do we got here?
I don't know. It's something interesting from up in the new debris pile. I saw this thing. It's got like these little
nubs
on it, and then there's a scale next to it, and then there's also this over here.
Interesting.
Fishy looking stuff.
Paul wants to see that bizarre trace that I rock sawed.
Andrew, what do you think this is?
Yeah, that was before I got sealed.
Before you go.
He was talking to me the whole time hiking up there. So I finally got to a point.
That's been kind of a continual theme for as long as I've been here. Is like, what in the world is, like, we know this is something, but what is it?
Looks like it's this, and there's a scale next to it too.
I'm gonna dive.
I don't know what that is, but it's really cool. That's worth keeping for sure.
So unknown but cool.
Yeah.
This rock, and I kind of ran out of places to attack it with my hammer.
I'm almost thinking we just hit it with a saw and just
slice it
with a saw.
What do you think?
I don't know.
It's weird, huh?
It is weird.
Yeah, we did a dirty job.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Very. Have fun.
Ontogeny.
And thank you very much, Mark Melbourne. Really appreciate the gift subs there. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's because of the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you. And thank you very much, Wood, for the 16 months of support. Excellent. Yeah. Community time. Thank you for the gift sub. 2 gift subs, is it? Thank you very much. That's excellent. Yeah. GCI Bank says, do you get to keep the fossils you find if you go? So we're not collecting for personal gain here. This is all for science. That's the whole idea. Like, the whole reason that we're excavating these is not just that they're cool. Well, they're scientifically important. So these are going back to the museum here, just across the street. Usually we drive them rather than carrying them on foot because it's a busy road and that could get dangerous. And often these things are heavy too. But yeah, the whole point is to be able to save these for posterity so that they can be studied years or centuries into the future. You know, that's why we collect these fossils. That's why we collect fossils in general, you know? It's not specific to here. That's what paleontologists do. You know, there's that old phrase, was a wise man once said, that belongs in a... Anna's shaking her head. But place where we reposit these fossils so that they can be studied long after we're gone, you know? It's the really cool thing is that some of the first dinosaur fossils that were ever scientifically studied, things like that lower jaw of Megalosaurus, like the 3D print that I have in my office. That was published on in 1824. William Buckland studied it. You can still go and see that at the museum in Oxford. And I've got friends who've sent me pictures of them holding this. It's wild. So that's why we do this. It's the promise that, like, these things will be here long after we're gone. So that's why we do it. If something were in like a private collection, there's no guarantee of that. You know, private collections of fossils, things disappear, you know? Moth and rust can destroy, or, you know, estate sales or divorces or whatever, like, you know, things have a tendency to disappear in private collections. Museums that's the way to go if you want something to still be around years, decades, centuries into the future, you know? Yeah. Secret Arthurium says, I love this channel. A friend introduced me to this. Thank you for exploring and sharing. Thanks for being here, and thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. And thank you, anonymous gifter, for the support too. You are as generous as you are mysterious, and I appreciate you. You laughing, Anna? What are you doing over here? Well, I know what you're doing, but tell the camera.
So we're splitting rock right now. We're mainly going for this greenish rock that you can kind of see right here. And we're just looking for bone at the moment.
Nice.
I have not found bone, but I have found a lot of coprolites. Which may have bone in them, but yeah, so just sorting through this stuff, all the stuff that's been kind of cleared out today by AV excavation.
Yeah.
And just sorting through it, see what we can find.
Nice. Well, best of luck.
Yeah.
Any idea what critter is leaving these coprolites, or
I'm really hoping it's dinosaur. That would be awesome.
That would be
I know
awesome.
some of them do have semi-noted fish scales in them, so obviously something's eating fish, right?
Yeah.
And considering that we find dinosaur teeth with their serrations worn down by fish scales, probably, well, let's hope it's their poop.
Very cool. Dinosaur poop, you heard it here. Nice, and it is kind of amazing just the volume of rock that Emma's been able to move here. It's really nice, and it's a lot faster to go through it in this form than it is to dig through it by hand, like I was doing for the past couple of days. So we're really grateful for his help. Yeah. Merp says, "Got to find the poopatrator." Yeah. That's a Karen Chin line. Yeah. So yeah, we're hoping to find some coprolites that are distinctive enough that we might be able to tell who the poopatrator was. Thought this is a person here for a second. Get some more water. And Confused Echidna says, poop rocks can give insight into what was eaten, right? Oh yeah, yeah. So again, when we're studying coprolites, they can give us a lot of really useful information. So, say you're looking at or skeleton, trying to figure out what was this animal eating while it was alive. You can look at the teeth, you can look at the overall kind of body plan of the animal. You can make inferences based on that, but they are, at the end of the day, inferences, you know? If you want to know absolutely what critters were eating, you look at the results of their eating, you look at their dung. So if you can find that, and if you can match it to the critter, that's the tricky part, then you've got a really good idea of kind of the typical diet of these animals. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Anyway, did we get a raid? Let's see here. No. We did that recently. Okay, cool, clear. Yeah. Did anybody recognize Jim's hat, by the way? The tarpology hat. It's a thing that Don DeBlue did. Have you seen his tarpology presentation?
No, but I think I've seen his Word document.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I think it's on the SVP website.
Yeah, you guys got to go to the Ace Hardware and buy some conduit.
Make some tarps, yeah.
I brought 4 corners.
Oh, okay, nice.
And Don's bringing the tarps down tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Monday.
Monday, okay.
Yeah.
So we won't get to see Don this time.
You can order them. They deliver them overnight. I order a 10-pack, and they're like $10 of tarp, and they last for years.
Oh.
Those white tarps are durable.
Yeah. So those tarps are going to become
$100,
increasingly important when it starts to get hot here.
90 Wednesday.
90 on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I am glad I'm going home tomorrow. Yeah. Oh man. And
watching weather, I'll tell you, I don't believe it most of the time.
Yeah.
But,
and did you see the Salt Lake Tribune article came out this morning?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
I've been packing and.
It's got some quotes from you in there, and yeah.
The guy from here that called me, interviewed me.
Yeah.
Oh man, is trying to get this guy. He was over here interviewing with these guys, so you probably saw him. Must be an old fart, I'll tell you. Because talking to him is like, man.
we
got
429 people watching right now, Jim.
Okay. It was a frustrating interview.
I'm sorry.
It was really frustrating. I don't expect you to know this stuff, but
yeah.
It was like every other question. Now, why is this important? Why should we care? I'd rattle it off, and then 5-10 minutes later, same question.
Well, I don't know. Working with journalists can be,
more
can
used
be a
to
mixed
that
bag.
kind of thing when you're on film,
Oh, sure, multiple takes,
questions. Yeah, they just keep asking the same question.
Yeah.
This was the first time in a paper interview. But that was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. You always want to see what do they do with what they got.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to watch the video, the summary.
Yep.
It's like
that's too much work sometimes, though.
It's like just put it in a corner of your computer screen while you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting. You just look over at it.
Anyway, if anybody's unfamiliar, this is we call Papa Jim. This is Utah's state paleontologist, Jim Kirkland here, discoverer of Utah raptor, Gastonia. What are some other dinosaurs you actually found? I know a lot that you've described, but
I found the oldest mammal in the Western Hemisphere in the Kayenta.
Yeah.
First mammals in the Kayenta.
And those are true mammals, right?
Oh yeah. Well, mammalomorphs.
Mammalomorphs. Okay.
But not tritylodonts. These were Denetherium. We found them in Organeucodon. But Harvard had given up, and Will Downs said, "Kirkland, get up there. You gotta try screen washing. Gold Springs." So we went out and hiked. Nasty July in Arizona through the Navajo sand dunes to get up to the cliff. You had to go up the sand dunes through the cliff. And if you got 80 pounds of dirt on your back, even when you're young, I remember we got a load up there and we're laying under the vehicle for like 2 hours recovering.
Cool.
It's like, okay, let's go get another sack each and hike back down.
So this is collecting sediment to screen wash back in camp?
No, we brought it back to Flagstaff.
Oh shoot! Back to the institution.
In one of those sacks, we got the first mammals ever found in the Cayena Formation.
Nice. That's how you get the small stuff.
And for quite the Chinle one,
yeah,
oldest mammals in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow. Yeah. So just one of the things that Jim has found. Yeah. Yeah.
That was some good stuff.
No, we're just waiting for Asher to come back up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Good stuff. But the old days.
Yeah.
And then we hand jackhammered a road through the Navajo.
Oh, wow.
Parish towns and myself. Took us a week. July.
Having to build your own roads out there. That's...
Yeah. Well, at least, we're on the reservation. But all the Navajo families in the area were like thrilled.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like, now we're going to be able to drive our truck down onto this bench. It opens up a huge amount of area for us. We can now ride our horses down here too.
Nice, yeah.
So it was one of those things nowadays. I don't think anyone would tell. Well, if you're working with Parrish at Harvard,
Parrish Jenkins, yeah.
He pretty much always did what he wanted. Was definitely asked forgiveness later type of guy.
Well, that is one of those things that like nobody told me before I started, like how much field paleontology would be road work, just trying to fix ruts in the road and stuff like that, getting out to different sites.
One of the things people don't get.
Yeah.
It's when people think, oh, paleontologists, we want to fence everything off. It's like, no, we don't want to close roads.
No.
We want access.
It's like Denver Fowler would always say, like, find me a dinosaur, but find one next to the road. It's 10 times better if you can drive a truck right up to it.
Career at the Doling's Bowl. Two reasons: oldest Cretaceous bone bed, in North America at least, and the road goes right through the middle of it.
Yeah, literally, the road goes through the quarry, which becomes a problem sometimes.
Bones coming out of the road.
Yeah. When we get four-wheelers and stuff coming through, like. We don't want to put up signs saying like, "Oh, don't run over the dinosaur bones," because that alerts people that there's dinosaur bones.
Putting up a gate, and and this is probably seasons. I got solar, my breathing, my power station. But with my knee, it's all pretty soon. I'm not gonna be able to do anything. I can really have a hard time getting up. This knee does not. Look at this. That's my range of motion right now.
Jim. Yeah.
It's all scar tissue.
So is this Brazos or Drumheller?
This is Drumheller. Brazos was bad, but it got worse after Drumheller because I favored this knee, and all of a sudden I started, why is this knee hurting? And then I messed that up, 15 years ago or 20 years ago. But yeah, Drumheller was bad. 6 months of big as a football. And I knew it was life changing. I always figured it was going to be what killed me because I used to always lift my leg to step over something. And it feels like I'm lifting it a lot higher than I am. So I always figured I'd be trying to climb through some cliff and trip, and that's the end of me.
Well, I mean, that's makes sense. You've got some battle scars with all the work. I just, for anybody who's new, trying to give them a sense for, how storied your career is. 52 years now? 51 years?
Yeah, it's probably 50, going into 52.
Going in 52 years of digging dinosaurs on the Colorado Plateau. Are we on the Colorado Plateau?
Oh yeah, we're on the very corner. We're like on a little chunk of the plateau. A lot of people use that fault over there, the Hurricane Fault, as the western boundary. But you've got this slice here of like pretty typical plateau rocks that's over here.
Right.
So it's kind of like a chunk broken off the rest of the plateau.
Gotcha. Interesting. And for anybody unfamiliar, the Colorado Plateau extends across multiple states. So that's
four
Utah,
states,
Colorado.
Centered on four corners.
Okay.
And it's named for the Colorado River, giving us all the canyons and mesa country that we're so famous for. Utah has most of the plateau. We have the biggest area of any state, but it's not the Utah Plateau, which I get grief for all the time.
Yeah.
They say, you can't just refer to this as the Colorado. The Colorado Plateau is the entity.
So Jim's a state employee for the state of Utah, so of course they're going to get on your case.
Utah is a political entity. Natural history does not recognize political boundaries.
No, it does not.
National, state, tribal, whatever. The rocks go where the rocks go.
Yep. They obey no law. And QuakeCat UT, who is from Utah, here in the chat, says, I love plateau geology.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Greatest record of the history of terrestrial life anywhere. You know, when you put it all together.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't find a feathered dinosaur, but we have a few lakes that could pop one up eventually.
Like Solnhofen style?
I'm hoping, you know, I mean, Lake Carpenter and Montezuma Creek. The Navajo River have potential. And we just need more, you know, indigenous people getting into paleo. I know
absolutely,
several,
yeah.
but you know, jobs and whatnot. I know the program at Window Rock was run by a couple of Pakistanis. I'm sure they're retired now. But you know, it's you know, we need some, you know, Navajo kids and Pueblo kids and stuff who are into this. I mean, you know, when we were working Black Mesa, you know, we had all kinds of Navajo kids coming out to camp every evening. And we show them how to find shark teeth in ant hills.
Oh, very cool, yeah.
You know, play frisbee, you know, stuff. But we were one of the big things in that part of the world at the time for that month. Like, yeah, let's go see those guys.
Oh, so I think we might be wrapping up pretty soon here. So I want to.
What time is it?
It's like 10 minutes to 5. Yeah. So yeah, we might be wrapping up the stream relatively soon. So I just wanted to get you on camera, Jim, talking about why this site is so important. And kind of what's going on here for anybody who's new.
Well, you know, I mean, you pan around, and I've been, you know, following it up with your site and prehistoric museum. You know, down here is the fish level. You know, and that's produced.
Thanks for being here.
A really good fish, and the things I'm seeing is coming out here. I'm like, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of prep, you know. But you know, once there, that bench is the level that we pulled vertebrates out, and apparently, as you go that way, you know, there seems to be more bone in it than on this end. And I'm not sure how the power station is staked out in terms of where it's going to be, but you know, basically, you know, I mean, going this way, it'd be nice to go, you know, down into the fish stick levels. There's so much of this whole lake, but here you've got, you know, unique area with large semionodids, coelacanth material.
Yeah,
of course.
coelacanths.
And these are big coelacanths. There's no doubt.
Well, when we say big, we mean like 2 meters.
2 meters, you know, and
over
who
6
knows,
feet long.
maybe up to 3. I mean, we just don't know, you know, given the material we got so far.
Yeah. What do you think they were eating?
Semionodids.
Eating the other fishes.
We also had hybidont sharks, and the hybidont sharks weren't getting more than like 1.5 meters. So maybe up to 2 meters.
So they're potential prey for these coelacanths too.
Of course, they had those nice dorsal fin spines. But
wouldn't always work to defend them.
There's a lot of things that eat fish with spines. I've been following, you know, all the lionfish, you know, videos. You know, people get rid of them, and it's amazing how many things will wolf down lionfish.
Given half a chance. You
know, it's like with those spines and the venom, but there are a lot of things that kind of venom doesn't bother them that much.
Well, like a big grouper or something like that?
Yeah, and a variety of fish. You know, some things like, you know, triggerfish, you know, it just chews its way through them. You know? Pretty crazy how fast a triggerfish can chew. It's attacking something. You know, faster than I can see, I'll tell you. I've watched them. It's just, man, triggers are impressive animal. But yeah, it's really too bad. We have to worry about the equipment. Are you guys leaving this stuff out?
No, we actually
bring it all to the
all down in the cage down there.
So again, that's what Andrew was saying to me earlier. I asked him, like, what can I emphasize on today's stream? What do we really need most? He says storage. We need a shipping container or something out here.
We get one of these companies, because sometimes they have it, you know, you know, to put a big shipping container on site to stack stuff, because that's always been a problem. That's why we want to get building, and there's some things, blocks will be, long-term loan to other museums.
Sure. Yeah.
So something goes Southern Utah University, or Los Angeles County Museum. Because there is a lot of this stuff. But
I actually need to talk to the folks in Fremont to see if we can get some there at their museum.
We want to make sure, we get the building, know the dimensions where we're going to be able to exhibit stuff.
Yeah.
So, we can reconstruct part of the swim track area. Upside down. So, there's a big section of it that can be put back together. And we don't want to give away chunks of that. Oh, we gave away this piece in the middle. And these are things that really need to be done. A lot of this stuff we thought would be done by now. The whole plan was when they opened the facility, them immediately try to raise money, to put a couple more buildings over here. A big building over, the hill over there, the LVS site. And, there's 3 levels, and then over years, make a big shell with big, drive-in doors. And work in there and prepare the material gradually over some years, and then finish it off as in-situ exhibits, as well as on the floor, areas. Maybe that'd be also where the swim track blocks will be laid out and put together. But that's planned there, and then over on the other road, just facing it, a good state-of-the-art collections facility. Something with garage doors once again, that we can put, stuff on, with forklifts, put stuff on big racks to get stuff out of the weather, and make it so they can keep stuff from federal land down here. I keep hearing rumors of folks wanting to push that for Cedar City, Southern Utah University, and make them the big regional repository, really, and not St. George. And the change in tack with the college here and stuff. It makes more sense. And I'm old. I'm not going to be the guy doing it. I just want to see something done. That's my goal. Is I'm to be a cheerleader. Support these folks and whatever they're doing.
Have you had any other interviews or anything like that about this, aside from the Salt Lake Tribune one?
A number of papers, local papers. There in Moab.
Nice. We had some media folks here earlier today.
KSL.
Good. Cool.
Talked with them. This coming week, we have a video crew from the Department of Natural Resources coming down.
Oh, excellent.
And they're wanting to do a video about this place to put on the website. And our involvement, over the last 30 years on it. A new, media marketing guy who's really interested in promoting paleo. And, a lot will be affected by who becomes our next director. Because, our current director, who's been really good for our program, he's retiring at the end of the month.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
That soon.
But they're hoping to have someone slip right in his place very quickly.
Okay.
And it may be our current, deputy director. I know she's, definitely on. I have nothing to do with those decisions. But she's been a real supporter. She's coming down next week.
Okay.
She's probably going to be here for a day or 2 at the most. She's got a lot going on. But she's real interested in this stuff. And,
nice.
And for our program, she would be a real good friend to have as the state geologist.
Excellent.
But another person could be also a very, a lot of geologists like paleo.
Yeah, for sure.
There wouldn't be much of geology, certainly sedimentary types geology without paleo.
Right. We do provide a lot of the,
all the initial dating,
public appeal.
Of paleontology, all the paleoenvironmentals, you can't do it without the fossils. reconstructing these environments to create this history, and then use that data to find oil, gas, coal.
Right. Yeah.
You know, uranium even is totally tied to environments in the Jurassic and in the Triassic. Now it's pretty remarkable, you know, what paleo has done and is doing, and fortunately our program, you know, realizes that, which is one of the reasons I'm slowing down on naming dinosaurs, because they're squeezing all the juice out of me before I retire.
How many more dinosaurs do you have in the hopper right now?
I've got like 3 for sure.
3 for sure, new dinosaur genera?
I'm trying to, you know, where like manuscripts are partially done.
Nice,
The plates are all done already.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
after that, any more?
I'm trying to find, you know, a student to work on ankylosaurs to join me on this stuff, so I can hand over the keys to polacanthines and stuff. You know, because once I'm off the map, you know, I know that, you know, I've looked at every Yankee in the world practically, carefully. I mean, I have notebooks of notes on various specimens, and you know, it's like one of the things. Like, I've got to get this stuff published while I still can.
Yeah,
my mind is still permitting me to do that, but you know, I've got other duties, the stuff that pays the bills for the state.
No, I know what that's like.
You know, a big paper on the marine Mako shale, revising the nomenclature, coming out in probably a few weeks.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Galleys, I've gone through the galleys. That's done deal, and you know, and basically, you know, it's a big paper like the Cedar Mountain paper was. You know, it's like 80 pages, something like that, but all full color, published by the Utah Geologic Association. And they want me to do another Cedar Mountain project as we're learning stuff. You know, we need a lot.
Like if we could get a shipping container or something like that. Somebody in the chat says you've been in Salt Lake for like 19. Surely there's got to be somebody in St. George or Cedar City, somebody nearby.
Yeah, because the thing is like it can be returned to them.
Yeah. we're not gonna wreck it. Yeah.
Put it out of the parking lot up there, so it could be easily picked up again.
Right. Something we can have here on site. That's the whole idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I would make life a lot easier next month. Well, the shipping container, I'd put it over there over the museum, or over there. Point to the museum. I know we're pretty far south actually. I've crawled those slopes 25 years ago looking for stuff.
And somebody in the chat says I came through here, St. George, in the 70s, and it was just an exit off the interstate. Like there was nothing here.
Oh yeah, no, there wasn't any. This was a dirt road.
This road right here.
This was first found.
Yeah.
They knew it was going to get paved, so they were leveling the ground. I mean, that whole area over there with these big hills and ridges, and they dismantle them. I mean, I'm trying to think of the name of the big ridge behind there, you know, and where the shopping center is sitting on it now. But you know, that's where the first big plant sites were. And the hill was capped by the main track bed that was holding up the hill, you know, over there. So it was Dinosaur Canyon stuff that they were excavating there, and you know, and I wish we could have pulled more out why they were taking the hill down. The big construction activity started. They put a road up through there for some reason. We accessed most of the plants when we did. But once you got all the big equipment running full steam, they don't want us anywhere near there. You know, they really don't. It's, you know, there's too much liability. You know, and I understand that. But you know, I mean, I've done stuff, you know, with hard hat stuff, like, you know, California. They're pulling stuff out right in front of the bulldozers. But you know, here you got all these volunteers coming in from all over.
And we've got volunteers. You just missed the whole Texas group.
They just left for the
the UT Austin Dinosaur Club, Texas Dinosaur Club they call them. Really enthusiastic group of students. That's cool. They came all the way out here. Cool group.
Yeah, I don't know who's all coming out for this next week. Yeah, I mean, we don't have like a big crew.
Right. Yeah.
Don will be out Monday through Friday.
Nice. So I'm gonna miss Uncle Don, unfortunately, but we'll see him again out in Doling's Bowl.
Yeah.
Later in the summer.
Hopefully, we'll have a couple film crews out there.
Awesome. Yeah.
We're pulling together a pretty good story, and I'm hoping people are going to get excited and follow up on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? Next field season, because of the way my knees are, it could be my last field season.
Oh, don't say that.
I mean, I'd be visiting, but it'd be like I'd have to stay in a hotel, and sadly, there's no hotel.
Right.
Within an hour of that place. Just
bring in like a mobile home for you.
Yeah.
Drop it in from a Chinook.
I've always wished, if I had money, I would have a big truck with a big camper on the back of it. But I don't have money. I'm a paleontologist.
It's a perennial problem for most of us, if not all of us.
But I would have liked to do that. With these knees, I can barely set up my tent anymore, as you know. But just getting up and down is miserable.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here.
No, I had to come down.
Yeah.
I tell you, even this morning, I was like, should I be doing this? It's just like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be interviewed by like people this week. I got to be here. I may not be Mr. Dynamic in the quarry, but I know it, and I know where it sits globally.
You got the history here too. It's So Jim was involved with the early history of the site.
I know Andrew's always saying I called him and told him to come down. But no, he called me. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
He called me, and as he told me then, he read about it in the paper. And buzzed down here to check out what was going on, and then he called me because we had met a few months earlier, and basically it's like every time it's like, no, Andrew, that's you're the one that dragged me into this.
Well, he's a humble guy. Yeah.
I don't know if there's any humbleness needed on that.
There's correct and incorrect.
He's based. I mean,
he's spoken like a true scientist, Jim.
Andrew. Well, of course, Andrew's humble. I mean, he's one of my favorite people on the planet.
He's a good guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know him.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
We're good buds now, and I'm honored.
I mean, the stuff he's done, I mean, the Burgess shale work, and all these collections he made when he was in high school, that are all at the National Museum of Canada.
Right, in Ottawa, yeah.
I mean, it's, he's been out looking for this stuff, and it's so funny because if things had worked out differently, he'd be probably the world's expert on Eurypterids.
Right. He keeps talking about going out and trying to find some in Utah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was definitely a Eurypterid guy. Early
These are
on.
sea scorpions. If you're not familiar with them, chat. Cool critters.
That was where he was going. He was big into trilobites. This track site ruined his life.
Also gave him a job, but but
I mean, he worked part-time here for 20 years. Part-time. His wife had the good job as a faculty member up at SUU.
Put in those hours. That's impressive.
Andrew was very fortunate, very understanding wife. And, I mean, she was since she was there in high school. Who knows, maybe junior high, I'm not sure how far back goes. But she spent a lot of time on dig sites during their courtship.
We should probably get, before I end up wrapping this up, we should get some pithy sound bites about why this site is so important and why people should support our work out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to be? Just point it at me and talk.
Go for it. Jim, why is this site so important?
I can get over here so you have people behind me and digging behind me.
Yeah.
Well, this site shows, the whole ecosystem at the base of the Jurassic. And Selena Suarez, who will be here next week from the University of Arkansas, has worked with me since she got out of high school. I mean, she's definitely one of my interns that have done fabulously and left me in the. But she's gotten a big grant and had been working at Zion and South Africa looking at Jurassic boundary.
Yeah.
And she got some radiometric dates on the Whitmore Point, on the base of it and whatnot. And basically, given the error bar, it's on the Jurassic boundary.
Okay.
And it's, you got the error. Any of these radiometric dates. We out here in the West usually pick the first occurrences, Tractopus, crocodilian tracks, and Anomepus, these ornithischian tracks, as marking the base of the Jurassic.
Yeah.
And that happens in about the middle of the Dinosaur Canyon member. Down, if you look at the bluffs around here, there's a bed of mud below it, the lower Moenavi, which I think is Triassic, rocks. But that's where we start seeing those things. So we're obviously real close, probably within 500,000 years or less of the extinction. So what we're seeing is really the recovery in the southwestern United States of the faunas.
Right. So all these things had gone extinct at the end of the Triassic, and this is like life recovering.
Yeah. And people have found reasonably sized theropod materials in Europe, Australia, but not in North America. They don't really seem to appear here in this part of the planet to the base of the Jurassic. The larger, Eubron. And tomorrow we may find a big Triassic one. That's how science goes. Oh, new discovery changes our paradigm. As things stand now, it looks like these animals moved in the void of things like, the phytosaurs and the big therapsids, the adasaurs and things. So they came in pretty quickly and started radiating. And, when you look at things like Dinosaur Provincial Park and other places where we have a good record, radiometric dating with the sequence of dinosaurs, see is they evolve pretty dang fast.
Yeah.
Basically, and if there's opportunities and they're expanding their ranges, it could be faster.
Free real estate,
But definitely they're evolving at the same kind of rates mammals do. People say, they just, they're like crocs, you got, alligators in the Cretaceous. No. We start looking at these things and realize, no, alligators are crocs. But they evolved very rapidly. They filled these voids, and as you get the tracks, we got plant sites. Over on the Navajo Res, there's a few bones. There's Protosuchus. There's a few scraps of a little theropod over there, associated skeleton, but there isn't much. Very well exposed. And then you come over here, of course we have the plant sites, which you don't get in Arizona. But once you hit the lake, also evidence of invertebrates.
It's this lake here that's represented by these strata. And been talking about that the whole stream.
This huge lake system right above the extinction level. And one of the things we see with these big extinctions, and that one's probably tied to Camp, the central magmatic province, going off.
So volcanic eruptions causing
experts on that. But basically, because of Camp, like the Chinese have been looking at the Triassic boundary, and they've been publishing just in the last few weeks papers showing that boundary is exceedingly wet. And what we see here before this, in the Dinosaur Canyon, lower, basically we had an inland delta, like the Okabanga, in Botswana. We had a river system that just basically spread out into a basin and just evaporated into the ground. And during the rainy season it would be flooded, dry season would be dry. But at this time, for an area about as big as Lake Erie. You know, we developed a big lake where that delta was earlier.
Yeah.
And where that delta system was in existence, you know, into the later, you know, in the Cayenta, we get into another lake system in this same area, probably the same, you know, geologic phenomena.
Yeah.
It got wet for an interval. But is this wetness, you know, this increased rainfall in this region tied to camp? You know, because camp lasted a while.
Interesting idea, yeah.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't like boom, like an asteroid impact. It was, you know, the Atlantic opening up and big flood basalts coming out. So, you know, during, you know, volcanic episode, which is thought to be tied to this mass extinction, you know, at this interval, we see a major effect of rainfall causing this lake to exist. You know, so we end up having this huge system full of the large fish. I mean, the lungfish is 1.5 meters long. You know, we have some pretty good sized tooth plates. The semi-anodids are clearly getting up to 1 meter long. And, you know, we have a lot of small fish, you know, the trout size things, bunches of them. But we have big schools. I mean, what we think are nests of these things, fish nests, you know, they're almost 1 meter across. They're not quite 1 meter across, but they're big and deep. And if that's what they are, it fits those kind of fish, you know. You know, there and just, you know, swiggle around and blow the sand out of the area before they lay their eggs.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, coelacanths.
Yeah.
You know, probably the top carnivores, aquatic carnivores. You know, what's in the water? You know, else? You know, dinosaurs coming in.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, we have all this good evidence. These early. We're eating a lot of fish, and we don't see a lot of material.
Yeah.
If there's any known in the Moenavi. You know, I mean, Andrew's got these swim tracks, you know, up in the Cayenta. You know, but that's, you know, millions of years later in the early Jurassic. You know, so they come back, you know, in force. But, you know, where does that happen?
Right.
Correlates to the sand dunes of the wind gates sand. And until you get to the top of that formation, I don't think we have any prosauropods. But we've got them in the top of the Chinle.
Right.
You know, we've got not as big as they get later, but there are prosauropods in late Triassic. You know, and maybe they were. Maybe it was because during the rainy season or the nesting season for the fish, all these theropod dinosaurs would come down and hang out around the lake shores. So the prosauropods retreated.
Right, that would make sense.
And that was during the intervals when lake levels were high. You know, we have good opportunities to preserve tracks. You know, the prosauropods weren't here for that part of the year.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of stuff we probably will never know. You know, but they may have been in the ecosystem. Good chance they were, but they weren't here.
Right.
You know. Scenarios like, okay, what explains this? Dinosaur bones coming out of that level there seems more that direction, which we're moving that way as we salvage this site. You know, I'm just waiting like, oh, here's a jaw.
That's what we've been hoping for all week.
You know, we've gotten vertebra, we've got teeth.
Just one a dentary there with some teeth in it.
Bones.
Oh, yeah.
But maxilla would be a little useful.
Yeah.
Maxilla
One can hope,
would be
you know.
super nice.
Defined.
And you know, there certainly would be there. We have bones. These animals are dying on the side of this lake. But they're scattered, and this was a big lake, and there were big waves. Those big erosional mega ripples.
Those mega ripples, like we saw on the tour the other day.
Those are erosional, and you know, initially the main bed were climbing ripples, just sand moving along and filling in. But then you had a couple of vents there, so you see some beds, and there are tracks on some horizons in that interval. But then you get this big flood event, and it scours these huge mega ripples into the surface and reworks the sand over into these sheets. You know, when Andrew's talking about correlating those little beds, I don't even correlate them. I think, you know, you can do it in the immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
But and they probably were happening at the same time in the troughs on both sides of a mega ripple.
Sure.
But to say that layer and this layer are the same layer, you know, they're not. They don't connect. You know, they might happen at the same time, but can you prove it? You know, it's like, you know, like many things. There's things we can prove, and there's things we cannot. But this is, you know, a unique record.
Yeah.
You know, following one of the biggest extinctions. It's one of the big five.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the end of the Triassic is a big extinction.
Right.
I mean, I've been working now, you know, focusing on the Jurassic terminal extinction of the Morrison fauna.
Mm-hmm.
But that extinction is not nearly
much smaller
of the
than this,
extent as the Triassic extinction was.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and we see evidence of being really wet, you know, right after that extinction too. So
that's, again, it shows how important this is, where, like, I don't know, paleontology gives us the context that we need to understand our world today. Like, if we as human beings want to avoid extinction for ourselves, it pays to know what caused extinctions in the past. Like these huge catastrophic events.
Extinctions are important.
Yeah.
They're kickstart evolution, you know, the new niches. I mean, you get big radiations of new forms coming in to fill the voids left behind extinct organisms, reconstruct those food webs, you know. I mean, all of that stuff. And we have records of places like this, like how, you know, look at different layers. How is this happening?
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got different levels with extinctions. You know, and this is the kind of stuff that gets us to realize, yeah, if we kill off the Caribbean reef system, it's not going to be like, oh, in 50 to 100 years when we clean up the Caribbean, they'll come back. No, they won't.
Yeah.
Because they have to re-evolve. You know, those ecosystems have to, you know, come together. So you're not just evolving the organisms, you're also evolving, you know, the symbioses and interactions between those organisms. And whenever there's been a mass extinction to wipe out the reefs, and that's happened 4 times at least in the rock record, it's always taken 5 to 10 million years before we see the next reef.
That's nuts, yeah.
You know, and this is stuff we know. I mean, people just don't realize we are learning a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Patterns do repeat. You know, and I think it's a lot of extraterrestrial. I think there are asteroid impacts. Very good. We're an ecosystem of our solar system. And we're probably going to find that big fluctuations of the sun have effects. Fluctuations and you know, little clusters of asteroids coming in.
Sure.
You know, and depending on, you know, what they do to the chemistry of the atmosphere, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so much of this stuff that, you know, we're in the good old days. We're just realizing the questions that we can even tackle.
Right. It's an exciting time to be a paleontologist. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Jim. I should wrap this up pretty soon, I think. But yeah, no, it's been great. I'm really glad you made it here, and looking forward to streaming again tomorrow. I'll be starting earlier because I'm going to try and leave by about midday.
Midday, like lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. What time do you think you'll get here?
I say 9, but probably 10. It takes
Nice.
me a while, you know, this COPD.
Oh yeah.
It takes me a while to get
Understandable,
my
yeah.
lungs cleared out, so I'm breathing.
Hopefully I'll be here
reasonably. There are
a
times
little
in the
earlier than that, and I
morning
can
I'm
get
just
started
like,
streaming pretty early.
Man,
Yeah.
what did I do in my sleep last night? I must have run a mile. 'Cause I wake up just exhausted half the time.
Well, everybody say bye to Jim for right now. We'll see him again tomorrow morning. Yeah, thank you, Jim. Appreciate
Keep
it.
him out of trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Morning rolls around too early every day.
All right. How many specimens we got today?
I'm not quite sure. We're kind of working on it.
Yeah.
We've only got 2 entered.
Oh, okay.
List because we've been just
So busy with other things, yeah.
Plus the inventory book, we had a volunteer with Jaleesa's laptop.
Oh, that's what she was doing.
Entering all the data.
Nice, yeah.
You know, with a.
I had to start at the beginning because I didn't have internet.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
All the way to the beginning?
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got internet here that you can use. Yeah.
We'll use that later.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, 'cause I'm gonna leave probably around midday.
Oh, she
But
won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of getting her started.
Nice. Here, we'll wrap up over there. Yeah, let me go.
I looked at the crate. I'm hoping Dawn spray painted us.
Let me go wrap up the broadcast over here. Don't go away just yet. We're gonna see if we can raid into somebody else doing some science. Yeah. And what time are you thinking for tomorrow? Says Dan the BC Man. I should be. Hopefully, I can start the stream around, I don't know, 11 a.m. here, which would be 10 a.m. California time. So for those of you in other time zones, that would be, what, 3 hours earlier than my typical start time. Yeah, because I gotta hit the road. All right, I think hopefully we're still going. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Are we back? I am having some issues with the cables. We're back. Okay, good. I don't know how much of that you caught, but yeah, I'll be leaving tomorrow around midday. So I'm going to be streaming early, about 3 hours earlier than I normally would on a given day. Just lost the end there. Okay, thank you, Claire. Now, I was just saying I got to take care of a few things before I leave town. I want to get some stuff from the gift shop here at the museum, and then I'm going to go get a car wash. Special shout out to Tag and Go Car Wash here in St. George, Utah, who's been supporting us, and yeah, even give me a free coupon for a free car wash. So for once, I won't be coming home with a dirty, filthy, dusty Prius. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I'm I'm excited about that. And then I'll get a hotel for. I already booked it for tomorrow evening, so I don't have to do a 12-hour drive in one stretch. Let's see who else is on Twitch right now. Is there anything anyone can or should do if they are waiting on a response from Jaleesa? Some folks need to know so they can plan trips. You could just send a quick reply so it goes to the top of her inbox. Yeah, she's here. You know, we can ask her real quick, actually. Yeah, let me ask her, and we'll get some advice straight from her. She's got a million things to do.